Yo, everybody, welcome to another episode of Open Mic with your host, Mike on the mic, here on the Fins Tailgate. Thanks for being here. Big Drip, man, he be pushing that Tebow narrative so hard. What up, Kinshon? Fins up for sure, as always, but I am repping Texas. We're getting closer to March Madness, so I got to start repping my team. We're going to be fun in the tournament. But those of you that were joining Tonk on TMI, appreciate you being there, and I'll go ahead and start with the rundown of the shows. We've got TMI Tuesdays on with Tonk 7 at 9 p.m., and directly after that, you've got Open Mic with myself, Mike on the mic, and then you can catch me again on Saturday with Drop the Mic. That's more of a professional style show. This show tonight is going to be fun, but we also have color commentary on Thursdays. And I don't know what you're talking about, Aqua. Color commentary on Thursdays with Kohler himself, and that's, he's got the best voice in the business in my opinion. But you also got the Fins Tailgate, and it is the tailgate party that never stops. El Capitan rocking it. Yeah, exactly, Kinshon. I can't believe they took down Kansas. But guys, support the show. Go to the Cash App and the Venmo in the corner. It is the Fins Tailgate. Check it out. Help us broaden what we're doing here. So appreciate you joining us. I do got a special story. I'm gonna wait for a little bit longer. I'm gonna talk a little bit college basketball before I get started. I got a story I'm gonna start before I bring people on and drop the link. But the TCU taking down Kansas tonight, Texas beat them I think about a week and a half ago or maybe 2 weeks ago now. And Kansas, they're a tournament team. They're going to be just as good as they always are. I mean, I never expect any less from Kansas, but the Big 12 though is loaded just like the SEC this year. And both of those conferences, I'm really eager to see who gets the most teams in, and then just to see how they do in the tournament, because both conferences have really been dominating all year. But I'm going to go ahead and share a story. We were talking backstage about a time when somebody got pulled over. Names will not be said, but it got me thinking about high school. So I was a senior in high school, and I had a 1991 big body Cadillac DeVille with the blue suede interior with the white wall tires. It was definitely awesome. It was a great car. It was a luxury version back in the day. But so we're going to FCA one night, and I had to pick up my friend Matt. And he lived in my neighborhood, so it was a quick pickup. We get to FCA, we do our meeting, we eat our pasta, and I'm a cross country and track runner. We have a big cross country meet the next morning. And so I remember we'd get done with FCA, and Coach Hudson, I love her to death, but she was definitely vertically challenged, and so she was so funny. But when she gave you a command or she gave you an order, you did it. You didn't argue with her, and she just had that about her. So she goes, "Hey, Michael, I need you to take home blah 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 blah." And I was like, "Cool." So they all hopped in my car, and so I had 2 people up front with me, and then 3 people in the back. And I start to drive away down the street, and I look in my rearview mirror, and my buddy Matt's running down the street as fast as he can. And I was like, "Oh crap! I forgot to I brought Matt. I got to take him home." So he runs up to the window. I said, "Dude, you want to climb in the back?" And he goes, "No, just pop the trunk." And I was like, "Okay, cool." I'm a senior in high school. I didn't think nothing of it, and we weren't like going really far, but I popped the trunk and he got in. So we're driving along, and we've been driving for about 5-10 minutes. And then we get to a stoplight, and I see my trunk pop open. And I was like, "Oh, man, I didn't even know there was a button in there to open it." And then I was like, "Hey, man, it's green light. Shut it." So he shuts it. And then we get to the next stoplight, and he pops the trunk open again. And this time I've dropped 2 kids off, so I have 2 extra spots inside. And I turned down a street, and so when I turned down the street left, and it runs down, and then my high school is like back over here somewhere, and it runs along my high school. And then so I'm on this road, and I see a bunch of cop lights coming behind me, and there was a lot of them. I didn't know, I couldn't make it out because it was too far away, but I saw all the lights, so I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna get off this road and let them go on by." And so I turned down. When I got next to the high school, I took a left to get off the road, and then they turned down that same street. And what up, Ennis? And so when they turned down that street, I immediately, I was like, "Okay, well, I'm gonna get in a driveway then. I just don't want to get in the way because they're obviously in a hurry." And so I pull into the driveway, and as I pull into the driveway is when they they surrounded my car, and they had 3 police vehicles, police cars, a special investigation unit, and SWAT. And they all had their guns drawn on my vehicle. And I'm a senior in high school. I got a girl in the passenger seat that ended up being my prom date. And then I got 2 kids in the back. They're both sophomores. Everybody's freaking out. And I'm sitting there just holding the steering wheel going, I don't even know what to do. Like, I don't know what to do. And the police officer walks up and he taps on my window with his pistol. And he goes, "Roll your window down, keep your hands on the steering wheel." So I rolled the window down and I put my hands back on the steering wheel. And he goes, "So you want to tell me how many people you have in your vehicle?" And I said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And he goes, 5. And then my buddy Matt in the trunk goes, "Don't." And I I started laughing. He goes, "You think this is funny?" And I was like, "Well, kind of." And he did not like me. He started yelling at me, screaming at me with his guns in the window. And I'm just sitting there with my hands on the steering wheel, trying not to laugh harder because my buddy Matt's making me die. And so anyways, he goes, "So where's the 5th one?" And I said, "He's in the trunk." And he goes, "Well, why don't you pop the trunk?" So I popped the trunk, and they got their guns drawn. A couple of the other police officers got their guns drawn on the trunk. And so I popped the trunk, and Matt's looking there. He goes, "Sup, dudes?" And he's got a trucker hat on sideways. He's a drummer, just a straight punk kid. And and all the cops started laughing. And this guy's, meanwhile, he's still reaming me. And long story, there's a bunch of stuff that was said. So anyways, Matt gets put on the curb. And the guy's still talking to me and getting my driver's license information, all that kind of stuff. And this car drives by, and Matt's sitting about right here. And as the car gets about right here, all the smoke just starts coming out the windows. And I'm watching it in my mirror. And the guy looks up at Matt and he goes, "Yeah, bro." And Matt said that was the day he regretted that whole situation because he was like, "I don't want to be associated with those people." Anyways, later on, that's what we became, but we didn't know any better. So I proceed to drop everybody off. And I get to the girl that was in the passenger seat. She was the last person I was going to drop off because her and Matt lived across the street from each other. And I get to her house, and immediately after I get inside, I just lose it. And I'm crying, and her dad's there, and her mom's there. And I was like, I'm so sorry. I was so dumb. I shouldn't have put him in the trunk. I don't know what I was doing. And I was just like booing. Well, her dad left the room, and I go, oh, and I started crying even more because I thought I was like, oh man, he's going to get his shotgun. Like, I just got to get out of here. You remember, this is Texas. So I was legitimately like, I pissed him off. Oh my God, this is his baby girl. I'm in trouble. And so he never comes back out. Like, not once. He never comes back out of the room. And her mom was like, all right, Michael, I think you can go. And I was like, okay, I'm so sorry. And so I get to my house. And I go inside, and I'm still just crying because I don't know if my parents know yet, but I had to tell on myself. And so I was losing it. And my dad just looks at me and goes, well, did you learn a lesson? And yeah, don't put somebody in the trunk. He goes, you beat yourself up enough. Why don't you just go to bed? And I was like, okay, Dad, good night. Well, come to find out years later that when Smokey, which was the dad, when he left the room because he couldn't stop from laughing. And he called my dad to tell him what was going on. And they died laughing the entire time, which is why he never came back into the room. And yeah, so that's a crazy story about. I have a lot of them, but that one is one of my favorites. But anyways, guys, this is open mic. We're going to talk about anything and everything. You want to talk about basketball, you want to talk about this baseball, you want to talk about Miami, you want Dolphins, you want to talk about the March Madness, you want anything, you want MC, you want to take some you want to take it's a basketball jersey. Come on now, at least it's the right sport. But don't be mad I'm repping MC. But MC, you want to come on and talk NASCAR, bro? We can do that. But Color, what up, dude?
What's up, man? How you been?
Good, man. Where'd your TV go?
Oh, I just took it down because it was starting to glare too much. So I got a better camera, and it's 1080p with 60 frames, so it was causing flicker on my TV. So I'd made the decision that I didn't want to broadcast to you guys in 30 frames a second. So it was either that or the TV's got to go. So the TV got the axe.
So you're probably the only one on the team that I can truly talk baseball with. So before we bring anybody else on, before I drop that link, bro, I don't know if we'll even get 80 games at this point, because here's my thinking. Okay, so they canceled the first 2 series, but baseball, they still need a full month to ramp up. They still need a full month of spring training, whether they do spring training games or not. They're gonna have to get that full month. And so right now, that leaves us that means if they're only canceling the first 2 series, then that means they're talking about they think they're going to get a deal done in the next 2 weeks, because that means that free agency and spring training are going to have to, the free agency is going to have to happen. It's going to start as soon as the agreement is come to whatever. I bet it would start the next day. So you get a week of free agency, then spring training starts. And so free agency is into spring training. And then you get this crappy team chemistry that you don't have because you were signing guys when you had a week before the season and you don't even know what they're going to provide to your team. I think we're about to see a complete shit show, worse than 2020. And I think we're going to see a ton of injuries, a ton of soft tissue injuries, a ton of hamstrings, a ton of elbow problems. I think we're going to see shoulder problems. I'm worried that the game of baseball is about to lose out big time. They were already kind of taking a back seat to the major sports. And now with this strike and the lockout continuing, and it's just looking bad, and I'm worried because that's my favorite sport, bro. And even though we have history between our 2 teams, I know you love baseball, and I'm definitely worried.
Yeah, definitely. Plus, it's it's fun that even if you're a Marlins fan, you can obviously you got all the base, you got all the fan access you want down here, but as a St. Louis fan. And I know there's Nationals fans, that's something that's fun to do up in Jupiter or West Palm where you got the Nationals. Spring training is kind of one of those things that, it's kind of like, missing out on training camp if you go to training camp for the Dolphins or something, I was all ready to, I was going to do some live stuff right from Jupiter this year, you know what I mean? But there goes that,
Yep.
As far as the games being played, I hate 162 game season anyway, as a football fan. So, the less games for me, the merrier.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, dude. All you got to do is go out to Jupiter and just camp out and take a picture of every time the commissioner goes back and forth, and the negotiations are going on right there in Jupiter still. But that
I
not a
wonder if
game.
there's any hotel rooms left in the hotel that's right there.
It's a
All the
good
media.
question, but and my thing with what's going on right now is the $1 billion TV deals that were signed recently. I don't usually agree with the players in this instance, but what I see happening is the amount of money that teams are making now, and for Rob Manfred to come out and say the MLB was hurting, when I think I saw the number was like 57 5.7 billion. I don't remember. It was a ridiculous number that they made. And they were like, oh, we're struggling. And I'm like, hey, what up, Squid Games? But I was like, I don't know how that can be considered struggling. But my problem is there's 71% of baseball players that don't make $1 million. Not saying that every team should, every player just for being in the big league should make $1 million, but because of where the sport is and because of the expensive contracts that are out there, the precedent that has been set, dude, $1 million is chump change, and it is 162 games. So it's not like a football season where you 17 games, so you can understand not giving them $1 million. But for 162 games, it's 6 months of the year that you're playing every day, damn near. And so I think $1 million ain't much to ask, but the latest offer was 710,000 or something like that is what they're trying to 770. I think it's 770,000 is what they're trying to raise it to. It might just be 700,000.
See, I tend to agree with you there, but at the same time, Mike, there are a lot of baseball players that are making that minimum that we never even see take the field all year.
And that's true too. Well, and so I agree with you. And so this is my perspective on it. If they want to make the contracts extremely incentivized, you have a minimum that you can pay a player, and all of the contracts you hand out are incentivized to where if you become a 20 home run and a 20 stolen base, then you get $5 million bonus. If you become a if you hit 280, not 279. If you hit 280, you get another $1 million. If you hit 300, you get $1.5 million. Make it really incentivized because the teams have the money. I mean, they're making more money than every other sport based on ticket sales for the amount of games they have. And so,
but then what happens then though, Mike, is you end up having a bunch of people start taking off their jerseys like Antonio Brown in the middle of the game because they think the manager's trying to hold them from making their next bonus. You know what I mean?
Well, and I agree with you there. And
I mean, there's issues that would have to be worked out. That's probably the best idea I've heard yet. But on the back end, we'd have to find I guess when you'd have so many players incentivized, it would be too hard for managers or organizations to do that because then they'd have to be benching half their team,
Well, but so here's the other thing though. What comes along with that is that I think there should be a range that every team has to be inside as far as total money spent on their team at the end of the year. So
and to that point real quick, I could see where if you're coupling incentives with, you also have to pay this $1 million minimum. However you got to pay it, whatever reason you got to come up with, this person has to make $1 million this year. So you can set his salary at $600,000, but you've got to find a way to bonus the guy out $400,000, even if you got to make up the reasons. You know what I mean?
So you typically have 25 to 30 players that are active because of rotational guys, all that kind of stuff, right? So you set it up to where a team, no matter what team it is, because they're all making the same TV money right now. It doesn't matter what market you're in. The TV deal was for all of baseball. Everybody's eating from it. So you take it and you say that every team has to spend between $120 million and $200 million at the end of the year. They have to have spent that much on their roster. And so that makes it, because you've got Tampa Bay that never gets over 50 million. You've got Oakland that barely gets over 50 million. At the beginning of this year, before Texas Rangers spent $596 million, they had a $22 million payroll going into 2022. So that you force teams to spend the money, because then you're not taking as many chances on these 1-year deals and these guys that are coming off injury, and you're just throwing a $600,000 contract at them on the hopes that they're going to be healthy. It's forcing you to get people rehabbed better, focusing more on health and trying to get these guys to perform at a level that, okay, well, if I spent, so say I've got two $20 million guys and the rest of them are 10 million or less. Okay. So if I've got all of that money and then say 15 of the 25 guys hit all their incentives. And so I went from a $55 million payroll to $110 million payroll. Now bonuses come into play. And then you get to that $120 million floor. I think if you're going to because they're talking about a salary cap, if you're going to put a salary cap in baseball, I think because of how baseball has been ran by some of these cheap teams, you have to force everybody to be on the same playing field as far as you have to spend at least this amount of money on your roster. And then that forces all these teams these guys that are taking 1-year deals because nobody wants to pony up for a 3 or 4 year deal to a guy that deserves it. And if the numbers are there and they prove that he deserves it, then why are you not giving them that deal? And you're basically taking advantage of them, saying, I'm going to give you a 1 year, a $1.4 million deal that could turn into a $2 million deal, but then you're a free agent again. There's no security there. So
you're also stopping the teams from dumping all of their money into a star player and robbing their fans by making them think they've got a chance to win, when in all honesty we all know who, the teams that win are the ones that see. Now St. Louis, for instance, with Albert Pujols, obviously Albert Pujols will help anybody win a championship no matter what you do.
At that time in his career,
right, but we all know the Cardinals are good at putting low ball pieces around guys, building that anyway. So that the Cardinals is actually the model the Dolphins should follow right now. Like we've got the mediocre low ball pieces all around. Now we just need the superstar under center. In the Cardinals case, that was Albert Pujols. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you had Adam Wainwright, you had Mark Mulder, like that team was
right. But for the most part, the teams that do that, Tonk pointed it out with the Washington Nationals in the last show. They pay a guy like Bryce Harper, and that drew a crowd, but they didn't win a World Series with Bryce Harper. They won a World Series with 5 guys that are almost Bryce Harper.
Anthony Rendon, that team.
And ironically, that's what St. Louis did when they cut bait with Albert Pujols. Might have shocked the world that they weren't willing to pay him all that money. But from their perspective, it's like we can either have one Albert Pujols or we can have 4 guys that are almost Albert Pujols, and that's what they did. And so they're now they've won one more World Series, I think, since then. They've been to one other since then and lost to the Red Sox, but they're consistently winning their division or at least making the playoffs. You know what I mean? One and done, sure, but nobody argues that St. Louis is going to be in the playoffs in any given year.
So Atlanta had that consistency tag for what was it, 16 or 17 straight division titles, and then when they
did that with pitching, with straight pitching, same model as the Cardinals. Low ball everybody else on the team and stack your pitching roster.
And then St. Louis stepped in and they started showing that it wasn't just the Yankees and the Boston that were an example of consistency or a way to structure an organization. You have to look at St. Louis, whether you hate them or not. The Redbirds have one of the most consistent baseball organizations that have been around.
What it is, Mike, is they've laid out the template for a low ball team, for a small market team. Now, nobody's going to argue because that's the age-old competition in baseball between the Yankees that can buy their championships or the Cardinals that have to farm it into existence. You know what I mean? They both the Yankees have more titles, but the Cardinals have enough to say this system works too. You know what I mean? And so when you're talking about a team like Tampa Bay or in this case Miami, they're either going to do it like St. Louis or they're going to be in purgatory forever, because albeit Miami is a large market, it's not for baseball. And so, Miami, well, they did it once, but inaugural, couple seasons, you got a lot of money involved, you know what I mean? But they ain't like the Yankees, when it comes to baseball. Miami is not New York as far as the size of their market. So they really have to, and maybe, I don't know, maybe you have some insight on the Jeter thing. Was this the vision that Jeter didn't want to buy into, or is this the vision that Jeter was bringing to the table that nobody else wanted to buy into? I'm not really, I didn't get in deep on what happened there.
I think Jeter was extremely strategic in the timing of this. I think he knew that this strike was going to continue. And so once they canceled games, that story's now been swept under the rug. But I think Jeter got out because what they were building was basically blown up, and they traded away a couple of those key young guys, and it didn't make a lot of sense. And I watched the fan base they were befuddled. They were kind of confused as to why they were trading away some of these guys. And then when we get closer to baseball, I have my layout of everybody on the team and all their stuff. So I'll get in depth with everybody.
So
from Miami.
Do you think something is, I'm sorry to interrupt, but do you think something is, let's say as fleeting as, what was his name? Fernandez. Do you think that setback, that one player has the ability to set back a plan like the Marlins were trying to put in place?
So here's
because kind of the same thing happened to the Cardinals with their home run hitter that died in Puerto Rico or Dominican or wherever he died.
And the difference was that guy hadn't established himself yet, where Jose Fernandez did. And I think that does affect the entire organization to an extent because of who he was supposed to be. Like they were going to ride this guy.
They were making chess decisions 5 years in advance based on what they were expecting to get out of a guy like Fernandez.
Exactly. So
I think people underestimate that don't really follow baseball deeply. I think a lot of them can underestimate how that one player can be that important as far as a long-term plan goes, to where now you got to resort to plan B. Did you resort to plan B? Should you have? Should you not have? You know what I mean? All these things are playing out in Miami right now over the last couple of years since Fernandez died.
Yep.
And it's, it's sad to happen to a team like that because Miami's already on the cusp of, hey, who really likes baseball type of deal. You know what I mean? But
yep.
I mean, I want to be a fan. I don't live in St. Louis anymore, but
Aqua brings up a good point that the Royals had that young pitcher pass away too. Dang, he had just kind of coming out party the year past too. I can't remember his name, but I'll find it for my baseball show. Y'all remember on the mic.
By the way, real quick, I was having some technical difficulties. I don't know if I was the only one, but I didn't get a chance to thank everybody for at the end of Tonk's show. My camera and mic were malfunctioning for some reason. I didn't even get to see the end of the show. So I don't know what Aqua was asking about. I can't answer his question from earlier.
Yeah. But Matt, we're about to do, I'm about to drop the link, and this is open mic. So I bring everybody on, but there's two rules. One is if I'm telling you to be quiet, it's because somebody else needs to talk. And two is try not to interrupt. Those are the only two rules we have. It does get kind of crazy, but I will settle it down, and we will ask questions to go around the panel. But enough is enough. You ready for everybody, Color?
The other thing is nobody wants to hear anybody talk about what they did with their sister last week. So that's the other thing.
It's got to be sports centric. Well, no, it could be. We'll just see.
Unless you just had a drink for her birthday. I mean, that's different.
Hey, while we're waiting for people to get on, I want to remind everybody to like this show, subscribe, catch Color Commentary on Thursdays at 10 p.m. You can catch Tonk 7 with TMI on Tuesdays at 9 p.m. Directly after, you get myself, Mike on the mic with open mic. And then on Saturday, we get Drop the Mic, and it seems like El Capitan might be having a little few back there trying to figure out how to do all these things. But and then, as always, like I mentioned, catch the Fins Tailgate. It is a tailgate party that never stops. Support the channel. Cash App, Venmo's in the bottom. Subscribe, like, guys. We're getting so close to 700 subscribers. We're on our way to 1,000. It's crazy how it's growing. We have merch now, and we have our own merch, but one of our big partnerships that we have right now is with fanatics.com. And at fanatics.com, it's a one-stop shop for hats. You can get jerseys, you can get hoodies, you can get t-shirts, you can probably get boxers, you probably get some socks, whatever you want for any sport you like, whether it's NFL, NBA, MLB, NHL, NCAA, NASCAR, golf. It's all at fanatics.com. Click the link in the bottom of the video and then go through that, and that gives us a little bit of credit and helps.
You forgot one thing, Mike.
Yeah.
Tua jerseys.
Hey, they do have two. No, it's TT jerseys, bro.
TT jerseys. And by the way,
I don't say the name anymore. I feel like people have it like in an algorithm on their computer. You say you say them, and everybody shows up. So I'm just gonna call them TT.
Right. So by the way, this is the type of merchandise you can get from fanatics.com. Unfortunately, you can no longer get this one because I just bought the last one. And I used the link in the description to below to do it so that Fanatics knows that I came from the Fins tailgate. So we'd appreciate you if you did that too, if you're gonna grab some merch.
Hey, and CCR, I have no problem addressing what you just said. He said, when Tua washes out of the league, does he have enough work ethic to hold down a job at CVS? I'm not going to answer the specifics of that question, but I am going to pose that question a different way to you, Kohler.
Work ethic, CVS? Oh, hold on a second. Go ahead. Ask your question. I got something for that.
Hang on, Brian. I'll get you in a second, too. You can answer this question as well. And I know your answer is going to be great. So my question is, this is a hypothetical, but that's what we do on open mic. We talk about what ifs. We talk about what could be. This is not an indictment. This is not a statement. This is not something that I believe. This is a question. I love to ask questions that get your brain moving a little bit. And my question is, unforeseen circumstances happen and Tua doesn't get out of his head and doesn't perform level that everybody thinks he should be able to perform. This is assuming that we get that we shore up the offensive line, we get a legitimate running game, and we get him another weapon or two. So assuming that everything happens this offseason to put him in the best position possible. If 2022 doesn't go well, and say we finish 9-8 or we finish 8-9, and there weren't any excuses yet. So if Tua doesn't do it in 2022, do you think we draft another quarterback? And if so, are we packaging our picks and moving up to draft a quarterback, or are we going to try and just roll with Tua till his rookie deal's out and see what happens? Because this is all assuming that Tua is a starting quarterback this year. He gets 17 games. He's healthy. Everything around him looks good. The offensive line performs. The running game is better, and he has no reason to not be successful. Do you want to draft a quarterback high? Because the two that I keep hearing are Alabama and Ohio State quarterbacks, and y'all both are. I don't know if you know, Brian, but I don't like either one of those colleges quarterbacks because they never really do well. So if he doesn't perform, what are you doing, Kohler? Are you trying to look at free agency, a trade, or are you trying to move up and get a top?
Well, unfortunately, at that point, we have already blown our wad, and we won't have nothing for free agency. And also, if what I expect to happen happens, like you had mentioned, you actually kind of predicted this from the beginning, is that Tua is gonna look better. He's gonna look enough better for people to have the argument to say, oh, well, we just need a few more pieces. And so it's going to come if your scenario plays out, we are, and I go with Sharif on this, on his thought on this. We are stuck for another 7 years drafting quarterbacks to bring in that hopefully beat out Tua in training camp, but never do. And we'll constantly have enough excuses for Tua to be able to say, one more year, just one more tight end, just one more wide receiver, just one more offensive lineman, one more running back, a better defense, whatever it might be. And I think we're stuck for the long term. This is why I think that the decision that's being made upstairs regarding bringing somebody else in right now really hinges upon whether we want to do that for 7 years, because they know as well as we do that that's what's going to happen. And I'm in full agreement with guys like Sharif on that. By the way, real quick, this is the level of competence that you need to work at a CVS. This was the hand sanitization station at my local CVS during the height of the pandemic.
And sanitized.
And there was a line at the pharmacy. So there was lots of people in the store. It wasn't like, you're trying to it wasn't like this is caught at 11 o'clock before they're closing or something. You know what I mean? So, and I called them out on it. I posted it on their Twitter page and added them, but never got a single response on it.
Oh, that's fine.
Didn't have anybody from CVS contact me and want to know what store it was, where it was located. You know what I mean? None of that. So,
Brian,
in answer to the question earlier, I think Tua probably has enough competency level to work at a CVS. I think he does.
Damn. All right, Brian, question to you. So say that Tua doesn't have the best year. Are you willing to ride it out with him till his rookie contract's done? You trying to replace him in trade, or are you just trying to draft another quarterback?
Well, do you guys hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right. Thank you for allowing me on the panel. I know, Mike, you said TT. No, I heard Tua, so I had to show up. And then
I
That's
told you.
okay. That's okay. We like blondes around here.
Yeah, I just want to remind everybody I'm not a head coach. I'm not a head coach, so I want to remind everybody that I'm not a head coach.
Sweet. Matt, I don't know if you heard the question, but this is your first time on the panel, man. What's up, man? How's the life?
It's going okay. I would like to disclose before we get into anything. I am a Packers fan, not a Dolphins fan. So I'm going to be looking at this from a different point of view, probably from what you guys.
Oh, we appreciate that. We love outside point of views around here.
So can you say the question again?
Yeah. So we're hypothetically speaking, like I have high expectations for Tua a lot this year because of what I assume is going to happen. So I'm not a Tua believer per se. I see too many inconsistencies in his game. So my question is, if Tua doesn't perform this next season, and this is assuming that we shore up the offensive line and get the running game going, we get a legitimate running game, we get another weapon for him, and he doesn't really have any excuses to not excel. If that happens and he has a mediocre season and we finish 8-9 or 9-8, do you think that Miami should try and trade for another quarterback, draft one and ride it out with him, or try and set up for the free agency in 2020 between 2023 2024?
So how I would do it? Well, first off, you have to get a lot more veteran offensive linemen, like Teron Armstead, for example, because it looks like that this experiment of like drafting guys like Austin Jackson are not working.
Yep.
So if that doesn't work, if that doesn't help Tua at all, you guys don't got a running game, nothing. Well, you might as well just blow the whole thing up. It might sound like drastic, but
no, you're right. That's what we actually think, and that's what we're concerned about.
I'm scared of it.
Long-time fans that have watched this blow up 5 times in a row in the last 30 years, that's exactly what we're paranoid of. Thank you for pointing that out.
And Matt, real quick before, and I'll let you go, is before Brian, or as soon as Brian Flores was fired, that was the first thing I said on any panel, was that I'm legitimately worried that this is all about to blow up in our faces, Miami fans, and we're going to be watching another rebuild starting in 2023. And there's just my reasoning behind why I don't necessarily believe in Tua. It's not that I don't believe he's going to be great, because I do. I'm on record saying that I think he could be great. I think he has the skill sets to be great. I just don't think it's going to happen in Miami. So with that being said, I saw too much inconsistencies in his game to say that I'm willing to pass up this opportunity. And when I say this opportunity, it's an unprecedented offseason where arguably there's 3 quarterbacks that could be on the move: Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, and Deshaun Watson. And Aaron Rodgers, by all accounts, may stay in Green Bay, may retire. Nobody knows at this point. And Russell Wilson, at this point, if you listen to what came out recently, he's not going anywhere. And then Deshaun Watson, there's a big chance he does leave. So when you have an opportunity in an off season where 3 guys are rumored to be on the move and they're all top 7 to top 10 quarterbacks, and you don't necessarily have that full faith in Tua, even if you have the faith in Tua, I feel like they as an organization, if you have the assets and the money to do it, you have to make a move. Now, that being said, if they don't make a move for a quarterback and they 100% roll in fully committed publicly to Tua, and they get everything they need to put an actual justifiable offensive team around him, not just a Waddle, but they put a full team around him with Teron Armstead. They go get the left guard from San Francisco, I think they're going to end up getting him. And then his name's escaping me, but I think they're going to go after Moses and for a right tackle. So they get these guys. Then they sign Philip Lindsay. He excelled in a zone scheme before, and when he was a rookie, he was an all-pro in his zone scheme. So you have him coming in to teach a guy like Jared Dokes. If you want to draft a running back, I think this is the wrong year to do that. I think you could go get a guy like a Darrenus Johnson, or you could go get a guy like a James Conner for the in-between or the gritty in between the tackle runs, the third and ones, the goal line runs, whatever. But because I tangent, I want him to draft a running back next year. I don't want him to do it this year. So saying all this happens though, and Tua doesn't show out and we pass on this opportunity, well, Miami's got 20 more years of mediocrity in front of us at that point. And I'm dead serious. I'm worried to death that that's what's going to happen. And I know y'all are in a similar spot as Green Bay fans with the possibility that Aaron Rodgers might be leaving. And I don't know what you feel about Jordan Love, but what does it feel like being a Packers fan right now? Are you kind of worried about the same thing I am?
Well, you see, I'm a pretty big fan of Jordan Love. I've liked Jordan Love since his 2019 year, and so first of all, I was really happy that we drafted him. So, but it's really hard to be like, I want the MVP gone, but like, you just gotta move on at some point because we're looking down the line. If we do pay, let's say Aaron Rodgers 45 to 50 million, and we just don't have anyone to precede that after like 3 years, like what's gonna happen? Like it's just like one of those things. It's like, are we really gonna pay this guy who just like one of the main reasons why we just lost the playoff game? He played really poor, and now we're here. Like, if you want me like to have like a prediction, I think he's going to be back. It's just like everything that's been said,
the drama,
just everything from what I know, I think he's going to be back. But if I had to make the choice, I would trade him. But that's just me. And to go back on like the Miami, it's like you guys just had this rebuild, right? With Laramie Tunsil being traded and getting all those picks, and then trading Mika Fitzpatrick, and like. To me, as an outsider, like that was supposed to be the start of
right. You're probably sitting there thinking, how is it like how you're an above 500 football team after 3 years starting the rebuild. You've got the largest salary cap of anybody in the league, and you fire your head coach. You're probably sitting there thinking the same thing. Like how? Yeah, like who does that?
I see. The thing is that really mind boggled me, and I don't know how you guys feel about Brian Flores, so I don't know, but like,
well, we like him here on the Fins Tailgate.
I personally,
no,
like,
we don't like him here.
Oh,
go ahead, Matt. Go ahead. Matt.
I was just more.
I'm not a head coach.
I was just more mind boggled that you guys fired him because like this is a guy that came in every single year and like pours his heart out and just gave you guys like a pretty decent record. I mean, you guys haven't made the playoffs, and it kind of sucks. But like, you guys, like your future was looking bright. Like it's like you guys had the rookie quarterback in Tua, who maybe just wasn't there, but looked like probably going to progress. And just like everything this year, just like, man, it just looked downhill. And just now you guys got rid of Brian Flores for some reason, and it's just everything.
May I comment on that?
Yeah, go ahead, Sharif.
Can I come? Man, I feel your passion, man. I really do. And I just want to compare it to I'm a Knicks fan, and so when Pat Riley was coaching us, and we had a order of attrition in training camp there in Sunny Purchase, New York. So it was the John Starks of the world, the Charlie Wards, the people who never, believed in him. Pat believed.
We lose you? I think Sharif. Did we lose you?
No.
Still there? Nope. All right. So,
no.
Matt, I want to ask you.
Sorry.
Okay, you're back. Go ahead, Sharif. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying, man, that we have a loser for our owner now. And when I look at the Miami Heat and I look at the San Antonio Spurs, and I was trying to tell Big O today, You know, everyone's ratting on the former coaches. This organization is nothing near Miami Heat that could bring in a Caleb Smith or Strauss, and they just keep things going even though Lowry isn't there. And the Dolphins just don't have the front office, neither the ownership. And so even though we try to put it on offensive linemen and Tua needs this and that, it's the
Starts at the
organization.
top.
That's what we're
Starts at
trying
the
to
top.
tell fans. We don't hate Tua. We don't hate Greer.
Oh no,
We don't
I
hate Ross. It's the organization that they've cultivated, and we know there's no success that can come out of it.
culture.
And
No,
it's just
see,
keep
that's
they
y'all's
just
backup plan. Y'all always say you're not hating on them. That's fake, bro. I want all the smoke with everybody that talks all that shit about Tua. I want all of it.
You
I'm
see,
tired of it. I'm standing up
All
for all the
right.
Tua ears,
So
baby. We're here. Let's go.
Squid.
Let's
Exactly.
go.
and
Exactly.
listen
So
to you, brother.
enumerate for us what it is what shit we talk. Like, give me an example of shit that we've talked about to
Y'all
I
are
don't think he's
always
talking
sitting
about
there
us.
saying he can't make the long throw. That's the top one right there. He can't make the long throw. Go back, look at 2nd and 22, baby. Let's go. Put the tapes on.
All right,
There's
so
always something with those, Squid.
I wanna ask Matt one more thing about being a Packers fan because
How much you want to make a bet I can throw a football over the mountains?
so notoriously the
Matt,
Packers
Matt,
failed.
what's up?
oh no, I
Anyway,
wanted to ask him.
okay, go
Oh,
ahead, Sharif.
sorry.
Ask him a
I
question.
think I keep going. I think I keep going in and out. I'll be real quick. Now, I just wanted to ask him. You don't have to defend Tua. I think all we need is to do is wait till April, and Flores will embarrass this team again, and it's gonna be the owner Ross. It's just gonna be more embarrassment and more of it coming out that you went after Watson, you went after Bridgewater, you went after Brady twice. Now that we know, and so while this kid is learning and healing from this hip, Ross is just continuing to not care. Just go for Burrow, go for anyone who you want, and not care. And we're not seeing that. We're not
Yeah,
seeing that. So
from
to me, Ross is wasting this kid's time, man.
what I see is like everything is just
He's using him.
well from the ownership, from what I've seen, what I've seen from articles and such. I don't know as much as probably you guys, but from what I've seen is just like Watson's been in the trade rumors for Miami for how long? Like
Since
how,
May of last year.
yeah. So how is that? How is Tua gonna be like? I'm okay with this. I'm okay with being the Miami Dolphins quarterback. Like how is this supposed to support him? And then Brian Flores is gone, and then I don't know how true it is, but didn't Brian Flores not want Tua and you wanted Herbert? Like
So well, it actually was Jordan Love. It wasn't Herbert ever for Brian Flores, is what I was told.
okay.
Man,
But
stop
so
listening to the
here's the thing about
rumors.
Tua. What's up?
Now, I was gonna say stop listening to the rumors, because if you listen to Tua, his last press conference about Flores he said Flores make me feel wanted. That's what Tua said the last time it was about that trade. So people keep making this shit up. He said
But I
out
mean,
of his
hang on,
what do
own
you
real quick.
expect
mouth,
him to
Before
say?
Flores makes
that'll
me
be
feel wanted.
hang on, Todd.
But what do you expect him to say?
Hang on, Todd. So I got one
No.
more question with Matt, and then I'm gonna get to Todd, and then we'll discuss what was just said. So Matt, for their Aaron Rodgers, the good portion of his career, Green Bay failed to put proper weapons or spend draft picks.
Man, you're going to ask him the exact same question I was going to ask him, man. Thanks, Mike.
But my question is, you saw Aaron Rodgers overcome that, and you saw Aaron Rodgers take an organization that wasn't necessarily doing right by him, and he put them on their back, and he carried the team. And with decent defenses, average defenses, good defenses, whatever you want to say, Aaron Rodgers carried the team without proper weapons around him. So my question is, do you think Tua can do something similar to what Aaron Rodgers did, where Jalen Waddle be his only weapon, like a Jordy Nelson or like a Devontae Adams or like a Randall Cobb, where Matt had, or Aaron Rodgers had those few consistent good weapons that, and well, a guy like Jordy Nelson where he left and he was trash. But like do you think Tua can do what you witnessed Aaron Rodgers do year after year after year?
I mean, time will tell. I mean, I hope he can, but like what we've seen so far out of Tua, I would have to say no. I see him disappointed.
You just ripped out Squid's heart, man.
Yeah.
You just ripped it right out of his throat, man. It's like reached right down in there.
But like the thing is, this he just needs offensive line more than anything at the moment. I think need offensive line, good offensive linemen.
Real quick, Matt, I want you to clarify something for our fan base real quick, because this has come up a couple times and I've actually had to debate people with it. Did in fact Green Bay ever supply Aaron Rodgers with people around him to be a winner, or did they just leave him hanging out to dry because they're a real thrifty organization? Can you just correct the record for us as a Packers fan?
So as people, I don't understand that type of narrative either. Like,
well, we got it from the national media over the last 15 or 10 years. You know what I mean?
So like, well, I don't understand, because like we had like all these wide receivers, like they're not first rounders, but they're like second, thirds, fourth.
But that's what I mean. People in our fan base are expecting us to get top 5 people at every position in order to make our quarterback thrive.
Yeah,
did Green Bay ever do that for Aaron Rodgers?
No.
That's all. That's the only part of the record we wanted corrected around here. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Appreciate your honesty.
Matt, I'm going to move on to the conversation Sharif and Todd are about to have. You're welcome to stay on and chat with us.
Absolutely, man.
All right. 100%. So, Todd and Sharif said something about Tua endorsing Brian Flores and saying that Flores made him feel wanted. Todd, why do you say that's a lie?
Did you hear the double negative when he said it?
I think we're talking about, well, you're talking about the statement when he said, well, I don't not feel wanted.
Yes. And that's where it was left. He hasn't said anything lately about that.
Well, I think Sharif's talking about later on in the season.
No.
I think. Okay.
That's the only time it was brought up.
Gotcha. So you think that was
no. Yeah, that was a no.
See, I think it gets brought up every single time Flores goes home and looks at his son with a Tua jersey on.
Listen,
that's just me.
Flores did not like Tua. But at the same time,
stop that propaganda.
When it comes to Green Bay and Rodgers, there's nobody that has Rodgers' arm talent. I'm sorry, the closest thing is Mahomes, and that's it. Rodgers is a beast. He's got more arm talent than any quarterback I've seen since Marino.
Yeah. Oh, and I've said that for years. I totally agree with you. So, Todd, do you think you've seen the coaching staff assembled now? I haven't got to talk to you in a little bit. So you've seen the coaching staff assembled now. You've seen the obvious direction they're going is bringing in teachers to teach the talent that they think we have on this team that just wasn't really brought out last year. So what do you expect now that you see the beginning of free agency coming? What are you expecting from this team?
If it were me, I would want to see the left side of the line redone with 2 veterans. Okay. The right side, I'm sorry, but I think Hunt needs to go back to right tackle. And then I'm bringing.
What do you think about Robert Jones? What do you think about Robert Jones?
Robert Jones, we'll see. I like him, but we'll see. If he can do it, then more power to him. But we need an athletic guy.
Yeah.
On that side.
Blind side, yep.
And when it comes with free agency, the teachers, honestly, I think our tight end of the future is in the room. I think Smith could turn Mac Hollins into a better version of Waller because he can block.
Ooh.
And
I like that.
You look what Smith did with Waller. Waller credited him with turning his career around. He came in as a wide receiver. Mac Hollins could be that guy plus a better blocker.
Yeah, that's thanks Todd for that, because that's what I was pointing out about Frank Smith. He was in San Diego helping along, helping continue facilitating Austin Eckler, but at the same time he came from Oakland right when Waller got there. He was the tight ends coach with the Raiders. So yeah, he's definitely responsible for Darren Waller.
Okay, guys, how you doing?
What up, MC? Hang on, bro. So Todd, so you said you want to bring in a veteran on the right side for right guard, I'm guessing, or move Robert Hunt to right tackle.
No,
2 veterans on the left side. What else?
Listen, at number 29, if he's there, I'm taking that offensive lineman from Boston College.
You're talking about Zion?
Yeah, he knows the system. He knows the zone blocking scheme. Him and Hunt on that side, and then you have the 2 veterans on the left side, and I might even go for a center later in the draft from Boston College who knows how to call out the signals for his own scheme. He knows it, and he knows where he's supposed to be, because his own scheme, he's the free guy and has to go help out in different areas. He knows how to do his job.
And it's communication. A lot of communication.
That would be my starting 5 right there.
So are you bringing in a running back, or are you bringing in another weapon, or do you just want to shore up the offensive line and then go to the draft?
Well, you're going to get that center from Boston College in the 4th round. He's going to be around.
Okay.
But I'm definitely going to – the 2 running backs that fit the system with them come from Notre Dame, and then there's that Tyler Aguilar. Those 2 fit the system because they are the explosive.
You're talking about Algier?
Yeah, Algier.
Yeah.
Those 2 are the cut. They're cut and explode. That is what you want in the zone scheme.
Yeah, 1 cut back.
They are the 2 best. You can get them in the 3rd round.
What do you think about Spiller out of A&M?
I don't think he fits this. I don't think he fits it. He's more of a power back. He's somebody.
I agree.
And that's you look at everywhere our coach has been, it's 1 cut and go speed running backs.
So a guy like Mostert's out there.
Yeah, but I could bring him in, yes, but I'm still drafting one of those 2 backs because Mozart gets hurt.
So do you know Bijan Robinson?
Huh?
The running back out of Texas, Bijan Robinson?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so I'm not going to get into it. I am a Texas boy, but my dad's not. And my dad says he's the closest thing he's seen to Barry Sanders because he has that ability to he has that ability to plant, stop, and then get back to full speed in 1 step. And he's available next draft. And my biggest thing right now is I don't want to draft a running back this year that we're counting on to be our bell cow because I think there's better running backs next year.
But see, Kerryon Williams could be that he's the guy who can catch and block out the backfield. He could turn into a 3rd down back.
Yeah.
The biggest thing for me, though, is if I'm taking a receiver in this draft, I'm telling you, he's small. Yes, I agree with everybody saying he's too small for what we kind of need. But Wendell.
And he played with Lynn Bowden Jr.
He was a running back, and they turned him into
I think CCR is right on target, man. Like who are the Texans drafting at 29? Inquiring minds want to know.
We can't stab 2nd and 22 any further into the back, man. Come on now. And Ali, I do agree with you. There's no chance, but that's okay.
Real quick, I'm chomping at the bit to find out why MC is all of a sudden championing the Hurricanes. Did we beat somebody Alabama needed us to beat or something?
No, you don't know the news? Is he in the chat? Mike, was he in the chat?
Kind of. What's the news?
I'll give you a hint. Look at my thing.
Future. Oh, you got accepted, bro. He got accepted into Miami, y'all.
You're going to the U, man?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm only going to take a few classes.
Instant brother, man.
Congrats, my brother.
I'm only going to take like a few classes, though.
Hey, everybody. Future champion in the panel. At whatever he's going there for.
Hey.
I'm going in there for right now. It's undecided education, but I'm probably going to change to business administration.
Hey, Mike, that Gator, we got to block him over there.
Yeah, I know. My dad's a Gator fan too.
They're too scared
Yeah,
to
it's
play
gonna
the
be
game.
hard because I got. Oops, sorry, my bad.
I mean, it ain't no wonder
Gators
why
ate up the
he gets
Canes
all
last time
excited
we
about a
played.
quarterback that throws
Hey,
ducks. It makes complete
Hey.
sense now.
Last time we
Hey.
played the Canes, we whooped them.
No,
Smoked that
no.
pack.
Last
We
time you played,
smoked them.
nope. The last time you played the Canes, you lost in a bowl game to us. Go look it
No,
up.
2019,
Ooh.
buddy. See, you
Go
don't even
look it
watch
up.
college. See, come on.
That
Someone
was
put up
cheating.
the
I
stats.
don't count that
2019,
game.
we
I
smoked
don't
y'all
count
first
that.
game of the
You
season
didn't.
in Orlando.
No, I don't count that
I
game
was there.
because you know why? There was
Nah,
a
we
lot of
smoked your
holding
pack,
calls.
bro.
Oh,
Y'all
hey.
Smoked
cheated
your
on
pack.
that play in that
Huh?
game. There were so many bad calls. It was
Yeah,
ridiculous.
see, that's what you just resorted to.
It was. Go look
Hey,
at the tape. They showed them.
We didn't even have an offense, and we smoked
Okay,
y'all's pack.
Seat warmers.
Hey, but
That's
hey,
all
but
you
I'm-
guys have been
Mike,
is seat warmers because we're
Three
coming
Mike.
back.
six.
There's
We won
a
a
guy in the
championship
later
before
round
y'all won a championship. When was the
Yeah.
last time y'all won?
that I would want to
2001?
bring in.
Who you
Like
talking
I
about?
said,
06
seat
and 08.
warmers.
Look
Y'all
up
have been
Mike
seat
Rose.
warmers for 20 years, Squid. Seat
Yeah, y'all
Hang on,
warmers.
haven't even been
you
in
said
the
Mike
top
who?
25.
Mike
So stay
Rose.
sitting down.
Rose?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to look right now.
He's
Hey, can
Iowa
I say
State
something real
middle
quick?
linebacker.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Have y'all ever ordered like? I know this is gonna sound stupid as hell, but have y'all ever ordered something off Fanatics and like it got messed up?
All the time. It's happened to a
Bro,
lot of
what
people.
the fuck is this?
I just ordered something from Fanatics
No. Look at
and
this.
it
This
didn't
is
get fucked up.
here's the real jersey. This is the real jersey. Look at this. One is
Yeah.
green. One
No,
is
that one
aqua.
on the left. That one on the left is the true aquamarine.
Yeah,
bro.
this is aqua. What the fuck is this?
That's the
What
real
the-
aqua right there. That's the true.
What the fuck
true,
is this?
That's real, bro.
This
Well,
is
it don't
not
belong
real.
with
This
that
is
logo.
fake
but,
as fake can
yeah.
get. This
Mike,
is
you look him
fake.
up.
Yeah, 6'4",
What logo is
250. I
that?
like his size.
No, 7 interceptions at middle linebacker, and he's a run stopper.
The fucking
Look, it
fake
reminds me of
ass
Nick
jersey. I
Bolton.
want my money back.
Last year.
Huh?
He
No,
reminds me of Nick Bolton last year.
he
There you
reminds
go
me of-
Damn,
again.
dude.
He reminds
Listen to
me
these
of
Their
awards.
AJ
vendetta.
Hawk.
Who's
Dude,
doing?
he's been.
Yeah, I think I saw
He's
that.
got it. Hang on, MC. That boy has
Sorry.
a stellar college career, bro.
And he's supposed to be a late round pick. Go look
Wow,
at
that
his
would sure up.
highlights.
That would sure up everything for me. I'm a Texas boy. I watch him. I remember who he is now. I didn't realize he was still in college. To be honest with you,
Dude, they're saying he's going to be a 5th, 6th round pick. He's rated like 245 on all the big boards. That was
Vendetta is
Wow.
back.
wow. Todd, there's a video in private chat that Sharif wants you to go watch, and then I guess further on the conversation we trying to have. But MC, so I'm gonna give you the panel for a second. Why don't you talk about what it really does mean to get accepted into a university like Miami, bro?
So I just want to say, first of all, thank you all guys for your support. Use up, baby. I am now not. So it's gonna be hard to throw away my Alabama stuff, but I'm definitely gonna do it.
Got to
soon.
load up on your sunscreen, man.
Man, I'm nervous. I'm a little nervous because I haven't been to school in like 4 years. Like, I didn't go to any junior colleges. I took a whole 4-year gap year, and once I knew what I wanted to do with my life, that's when I was like, okay, I gotta apply. Which school has which? So at first, I wanted to be a filmer, like a cinematologist, because I live in Atlanta. So it would have been awesome, but I was like, well, I don't know if I can
Yes,
do this.
Ali.
I don't know whatnot. And then I looked at my dad, and he was like, whatever you do, just enjoy it. And I don't think I would enjoy being a filmer. Now, other than that, well, your question, Mike, I know I'm going a little off topic, but hold on, Mike, I'll answer that question in just a second. But yeah, I wanted to find something that I want to do personally, make good money out of it, raise family, and just not be what I'm doing right now, which is like working $13 an hour minimum wage at Home Depot. Yeah. So I was like, I'm looking at my dad. It's a lot of hard work, but it's like you can do it. Like I can do this. If my dad can do it, I know I can do it. So that's why I want to be a salesman or something in business management, business administration, something like that. I would love to be in sports also. That's why right now I'm a undecided education. I would love to be a high school football coach, get my degree in physical education and health. But I don't think they have that. Do you? I haven't done too much research. That's why I'm undecided.
Well, they should. They have a lot. They do a lot of sports medicine, and they do also do a lot in the medical field in general. They're world renowned for a medical university.
Well, I know medical, but I'm talking about being a high school football coach.
Right, but you're going to need all that stuff to work up the ranks.
Yes, sir. Okay.
All right.
And Mike, your question was, I just forgot it. What's it like being accepted to university? Okay.
So one like Miami. I mean, that's a big university.
Man, it accomplished. I feel very accomplished what I did back in high school. Because in high school, I was actually, I was an AB student. Like I only had maybe 1, 2 C's. That was it. I had a 3.271 GPA, which I kind of count that as it rounds up to a 3.3. But I feel very accomplished, very accepted, and very welcome. And also, I want to. I know people down in Miami. Like if I need some, like I have y'all. Most of y'all, I think, most of y'all, like I know Chris is in. Chris, you live in South Florida, I think, don't you? I'm not sure. I know Batman lives in Miami.
Union City, baby.
Who? Wait, what?
What'd you say, Sharif?
I didn't hear it.
Union City, Shenandoah Lakes.
Oh, he's talking about you from Union City, Georgia?
Hey, my family's there, man.
Oh, okay, well, that's what's up. That's in like Southwest Atlanta. Anyway, hell yeah. So back to what I was saying. I know I got people. I also isn't Color. You're in Miami, aren't you?
Roughly. Very roughly, but yeah.
I got you. So it's like I got connections. I got like Finlaw family.
When I was growing up, we had a Miami area code.
Hey man, congratulations! I really wish you the best.
Yeah, absolutely.
And another thing, I'm also thank you so much. I'm trying to ignore you. I'm just gonna take it slow. My first couple of years, I'm not gonna go crazy with full term classes. I've already decided. I've already told my mom because it's expensive as hell too. I think 12 classes is like 20 for me because I'm out of state. It's like $20K, and I'm like, you know what? I'll just take I get money. I got probably like 600. I think I got a $600 check coming in soon for working at Home Depot. So I'll just take 1 credit hour, maybe 2 credit hours, maybe even 3. Depends on what the class is about. So I'm just gonna take it slow and try to live my best life in Miami. I think that's pretty smart for me.
That's what's up, man.
Just stay off the roads if you want to live your best life.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm going to be doing lots of walking so I can lose a lot of weight too.
My neighbor came from across the street, was watching the video, and he was like, "Hey, am I interrupting? Are you live?"
Wait, what happened, Mike? What?
My neighbor just came over. He was like, I was watching it. I wanted to come see like if you were live or was it delayed? He's having fun, but he came over to say it was a good show. So thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Anyway,
well, how's it going, Mike's neighbor?
Right. Go ahead, Sharif.
Mike, I gotta stay a little longer.
Yeah, man. I just want to say, as males, we have to believe in ourselves, and we already know we're in a world where patriarchy and when women have the feminist movement and we're not like and especially what's going on now, World War III, and then all of these big time feminists and all of these women who hate men going to clean kitchens now, right? They're World War III now, and they're running in the kitchens to go and cooking now all of a sudden. So we know what we already have to deal with as men. So we have to have an image footprint. So I appreciate that, MCJC, because what it takes for men to complete our male image is just what you're doing, which is going back to school, getting the bag. You're getting to the bag, and you're not letting nothing distract you. You're learning from your mistakes. You're keeping to yourself, and you're completing each credit one day at a time, man. And as all of us, we'll never be able to see each other at a Dolphins game if I'm locked
Right.
up, or MC is locked up, or Matt is locked up, or for some foolishness that we fell off and didn't get to the bag, right? So I
Yeah.
appreciate your story, man, because right now I'm learning coding, and I'm gonna tell you right now, the top 10 jobs for IT
Ooh,
is
coding.
coding
That's
and
cool.
cybersecurity. So, and that's paying 100K a year, bro.
Hell yeah.
It is what it
So,
is. You have to get it in,
yep.
man.
Do you enjoy what you're doing? Do you enjoy it?
I'm adapting. I'm adapting because I'm already
I got you.
basically in cryptocurrency. So it's like I'm adapting to it already. So I
Sure.
might as well go
Okay.
in head first.
Hell yeah. That's
All
what's
right,
up.
so I want to get to two things. First is Ali brings up the punter Matt Ariza, or Rise. I don't know how to say his last name, but he's out of San Diego State, and
You have it right.
Sharif is in channel is in there, Mufasa. So that kid, I don't know if y'all don't know about the kid. Go look up San Diego State punter. He has multiple 80-yard punts. He has an average that's over 60. He's a guy that is literally going to change the game of football with being able to punt from you got stuck on your 10-yard line. He resets the field and puts it
He
on the
better
20-yard
hope
line.
Denver drafts him.
Hey, Mike.
Dude, oh bro, I'm telling you,
Mike.
man, that leg is absurd, man.
Oh, come on, man.
7-7 hang time?
Come on, man. Every single punt
Appreciate
I
it,
saw
Sweet Jones.
in that highlight video was west of the Mississippi, man. I'm not buying in, man. We saw two of them that were in Colorado alone. Like, I could punt 60 yards in Colorado. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, we'll let it be seen. I don't care who you are, where you're at. An 80-yard punt is impressive. It doesn't
I don't
matter.
know, man.
It doesn't happen. There's been punters in Colorado. There's been punters that play in the Pac-12, and they've been playing in Colorado, and they still haven't ever kicked 80-yard punts.
Well, that's because they can't run down the field on punt coverage.
What up, Todd?
The other thing about him is he's your emergency field goal kicker too. If your kicker,
Well, that's the one thing I like is the double duty action. I like that. Sure.
Yep. So, hey, what up, Vaughn 954? Color is never impressed. So, before we go any further, Todd, did you go watch that video?
No, I didn't get a chance because I got knocked out of here. I accidentally hit the wrong button and it disappeared.
You're good,
Well,
Sharif. Why don't you go ahead and explain what was said in that video?
Yeah, it was basically at the end of the video. I think Joe Shad asked Tua, how does he feel about the conversations knowing now it's week 9 and you basically have the team from here on out without the trade rumors? And he said, Flo has always been an open leader. It's always been good communications with me and him. And I always never thought about it because the communications was good with me and Flo. See, these YouTubers, we love Tua. You don't have to over-explain yourself or lie on a coach to get us to fall in line with Tua. We like Tua. Don't lie is what I'm saying, Todd.
Hey.
So if it's coming out of Tua's mouth, then how do you know? You don't know nothing. You don't know nothing. You have to go by what was just said, young man.
Hey, I heard the video with his trainer and what his trainer said.
It's not confirmed, so you can't. It has to come out of his mouth. It has to be.
Let me tell you something.
Do you know that?
Todd, man, you thought that you beat the Gators, man.
Hang on. Squid Games. Hang on. Let's let Todd rebuttal. Go ahead, Todd.
Here's the thing, though. If his trainer was really not telling the truth when he was talking about it, he wouldn't be to his trainer much longer. And he's still going.
Well, that's his fault for not putting his mouth to the audio. That's his fault. See, that's why Flores got Ross, because Flores is going to bring audio to these things and video. See, you didn't bring your fault. Come on. Don't see what I go by is Tua said something, and that was right after Thanksgiving, and that's what he said out of his mouth. And I'm going by what Tua said. Tua respects Flo. All right, I think it came from above. Why this team had turmoil in 2019.
He can respect Brian Flores, but not like him.
When Ross asked Flo to do something that he didn't want to do, and
thing cut out again.
Yeah, I mean, you
wasted
can
Tua time.
somebody.
You wasted Tua time.
Hey, Color.
Yes.
I got a little thing. We always call you. You've always been called what? Negative Nancy with the dress thing. You've been having
Well,
that
lately.
You've been having that joke, right? So here's the deal. How about if Tua plays well and shows that eye test this year? You have to wear the dress at the end of the season on here.
Oh, that's brutal, man.
Dude, I love it. No,
you gotta
hey,
get something in return.
Lock
We're gonna
that
eat
down.
crow.
Write that down. I'm eating
Todd,
crow.
I
think
mean,
Ross
that
got
is
Okay,
to the
hang
level
on.
of eating crow. So
Hang on.
Color's gotta
Hang
like
on.
tempting.
Hang on, MC. Hang on. So this is what it's got to be. He's got to go over 4,000 yards. He's got to throw over 30 touchdowns, and he's got to throw 10 or less picks, and he needs to look, and his average yards per completion need to be around 8 yards.
Yeah, because I'm not even going by wins and losses. Even if we're 1 in 15, if he meets those measurements, I'll put on a sundress. Absolutely.
Wear a dress. Done. I'll wear a dress while I'm eating crow.
I can't wait because I was sick of color.
Positive
I'll even put on a Marlins uniform.
It's positive.
What if it's the other way around?
Yeah, what do you got to put on if it's the other way around?
Ooh.
Wait. Hold up the bet a second, Mike. It ain't locked in yet because we don't know what the other side has to do.
They just have to stop. That's all I want.
There ain't gonna be no other side. Tua's gonna show out this season.
A lay in a grass skirt. Yeah, a Hawaiian sundress. There we go.
All right, Tua.
I'll pay
two
for
in
that
here.
shit, Kohler.
2 in here. Second and 22. If Tua sucks, what are you gonna do for the show?
No, it was Todd that made the bet.
I didn't make a deal, but I want to smoke all y'all's pack at the end when Tua brings us that ring.
I hope you're right. I would be the happiest Tua fan in the world.
And I need somebody to go out there and buy me a Tua jersey. That's what I need in return. I'll do something, but one of y'all
don't
needs
have
to
a
buy
Tua
me a
jersey?
Tua jersey from Fanatics. Kohler's got the code.
All them jerseys, all them
work
jerseys,
on
and
that.
you ain't got a Tua jersey, and you call yourself a Tua-neer? Come on, man.
No, I need a white one.
means Alabama one.
There you go. I got an aqua one, man. But see what I'm saying though is it's splitting fans apart because one part of the fan base is trying to blame it on the last coach. And what I'm saying is, if you don't guys notice an incognito Dallas Smith situation here of bullying, it's an organization that is far away from the Miami Heat and Mickey Arison.
So you're thinking wait, real quick, Sharif. In your analogy, Flores is incognito.
In no. If you ask Flores to do something illegal in the sight of NFL, his workplace is never going to be comfortable if he says no. And
so you're saying the organization is being incognito.
The organization is incognito.
Right. Okay.
And the organization will never. And so you're wasting Tua's time by going for these quarterbacks.
So are you calling? Did you just wait? Did you just go on record and say that Brian Flores is Jonathan Martin?
Okay, that comment.
I'm kidding, Sharif.
That's what Ross did.
The voice is wrong. This is your opportunity
for you. Playing football at West Canaan may have been the opportunity of your lifetime, but I don't want your life.
I was kidding, Sharif.
Hey, let me
him bullying a black coach in this state. And so we know what happened after that, and what ripple effect can happen from Ross telling him no from the back of the gun.
Hey, let me ask.
What we have now, Tua not knowing any day which could be traded, and it's foolishness. And I wish we had a better owner who can let the GM do his job and just put things in place for Tua and not have. I'm worried, but he's flying on
So
helicopters
Sharif,
to go above my head.
you're not convinced that the quarterback
to freaking look for quarterbacks.
But Sharif, you're not convinced that the quarterback instructor that we just brought in to back up Tua is not gonna help Tua get right?
Hey,
All right, Sharif, we'll get you back in a second. Go ahead.
I think
Todd.
if Ross takes a step
he's
back,
back.
because basically he was scared back by all of this. Oh, did I drop out?
You did.
I think Ross has got a hold of Sharif's internet connection
back
tonight.
in?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Not now.
Vendetta's back.
Hey, let me ask you guys something. What would you be willing to give up for the new receiver on the trade market, DK Metcalf?
Basically, what I'm saying is
a fucking
Ross is the reason.
I'd give him Tua trade up,
Ross is the
straight
reason why
straight
Tua can
up,
never
trade up,
develop.
1 for 1.
Can you imagine a receivers room with DK, Bowden, and Waddle though?
That would be mass. Like a dynamic duo. One's just fast as hell, and the one's.
I mean, if he'll take 10 million, I'd
trade
take
on
him.
Burks, man.
But
we don't need that, yo. We need
I don't
Jordan
think I don't
Davis
think I don't think DK even though he'll command the money, I don't think he should. I don't think he's proven enough yet.
Tua for Ridley. What the fuck?
I like his
Playing
intangibles, sure, but he hasn't really, couple
were-
flashes
And
here
Aqua-
and there.
Hey,
But
what were
I
his
did see
numbers
that
last
video.
year?
Do it down.
I haven't looked deep enough, Todd. Did he
What was-
actually
Now
produce
watch
pretty
this.
well last year?
What was DK's numbers last year?
I got him in 2 seconds, guys. 2 seconds.
Uno.
Good question, because
Dos.
I truly believe.
He had a lot.
like physical
truly
eye
believe
test
that-
tells me,
that
yeah.
While
Playing eye test tells me he ain't done much, but let's see what the stats say.
Can someone tell me Tua's stats on his record? And
Yeah, I'd probably
completion
make that
percentage?
trade too, Ali. In all seriousness, I would trade Tua for Crowder straight up all day long.
Oh God.
Yeah, you
so
don't know
last year-
football after that
No.
statement. Cutler.
Last year he
that's
had
the case.
so
I'll
2
trade
years
Tua
ago.
for Kyler Murray because
Hang on, 2020 he had 83 catches for 1,300 yards and 10 touchdowns. Last year he had 75 catches for 967 yards and 12 touchdowns. He averages for a career 14.7 per catch.
I would take that all day. Look how many times
So-
he gets to the end.
14.7 yards per catch.
Oh,
That's that's considerably more than anybody in our room.
Todd,
Hey, but
I wanted
did you
you
hear
to
that?
tell these
12
guys.
touchdowns and 10 touchdowns? Come on now. That's a lot of touchdowns. That's more than our
Yeah.
whole receiving core had the last 2 years.
Todd, I wanted to ask you, do you remember when Mark Dixon and Ricky Williams were here?
Yep.
And you remember the counter trap, right? And the double counter that Ricky did. Normally he would take it to the house.
Yeah. Especially against Buffalo.
So that's the same outside. Right. That's the same outside zone blocking scheme. And the thing about it is that counter trap, Ricky was normally never that super fast. He was super quick. But he didn't have that house.
Oh,
Yeah, but it's all
no,
about
but
hitting the hole
I
on the
think
cutback.
what
And
we
if you can
saw-
do that, you're in the secondary before anybody even knows it.
Hey, I
Right.
will say one thing. Ricky had some speed, though.
Right. Basically, Matt Breida and Raheem Mostert.
I like Breida
Right,
and I
if
like
you got
Mostert because they know McDaniel.
Man, I'm
Breida
so
speed
on to
and-
Dearness
but my
Johnson
point
for
is-
that role,
I
man.
love him, bro.
God.
That's my pick.
His cutback, that's literally how Cleveland uses him, is for that
So
cutback.
Everybody and everybody
Who?
started to give me pushback on
Dearness
Dearness
Johnson.
Johnson because they were like, oh, that's a power scheme. I said, no, go watch when he played. He's got one cut and he's gone. Gets up the
Mhm.
sideline and he's leading people in
And
the
he
cut.
hits the
I'm
hole
not saying
hard. He's a
superstar,
powerful, like,
but
it
I'd
doesn't
love
matter
to
what
see
his, like, he runs hard. He's a lot like Duke, but with a serious cutback.
Oh, I just think in a system like this, he'd be
have you
fun to
guys-
watch. And he's just a bridge.
I
Have
tell you
Have you
what, though,
guys
that
seen
guy
Dalvin Cook's
Tyler is going to
brother
be
from
a
Georgia?
would be
Yeah, I
great in our
watched
system.
Todd, some
Hang on,
guest
Sharif,
came
one
in
more
named Mauricio, and he brought that guy to table. We watched some of his highlights on a show I did a couple nights ago. Yeah, I'm with you on that. If he can be landed in the later rounds, sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm
What were you
saying.
saying?
Yeah.
He's kind of flying in under the radar.
Dalvin Cook.
That
Dude,
that
he's
Tyler
fast.
Dalvin Cook's
Algiers
brother.
guy,
Yeah.
Mike.
Yep.
You think Dalvin Cook's available?
I tell you
Sharif?
what,
Dalvin,
his
him?
brother wouldn't be
No,
bad.
I'm saying Dalvin Cook's brother plays for Georgia.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
Jared.
yeah, James.
Yeah, James
James
Cook.
Cook.
And guess what?
God, James
The
Cook
kid you
has
were telling me
football
about,
player
like
written
Barry
all
Sanders.
over it, man. Jeez, what a name. It's
What
a
up,
great
Sharif?
football name, James
Mike,
Cook.
what about the Barry Sanders kid, Mike, in the 2024 draft? You was telling us about him.
Bijan Robinson, bro. Like if you watch him, so he's and people are gonna think I'm a homer for this, but I'm telling you, my dad's not a Texas fan, and he usually just tells me to, yes, I love Trayvon Henderson from Ohio State, really good guy. But I'm pretty sure that's the guy who Trayvon Henderson is. But anyways, Bijan Robinson, what I love about him is that he's gonna make you miss in the hole, and then if he makes you miss on the outside, it's because he has a one cut. It's just a jab step. He jab steps, but when he stops, he's back to full speed immediately, and he can catch the ball. He takes screens to the house. He runs with power. Bijan is absolutely he'll probably be, if he plays a full season and Texas rebounds, he'll be in the Heisman conversation, and then everybody's going to know about him. But you heard it here first. Bijan Robinson, my dad, a Florida Gator fan, says it's the closest to Barry Sanders he's ever seen as his ability to stop and start back at full speed immediately. So I mean,
well, we could just snatch Lamar Jackson over here for that.
Hey, I'm the biggest Barry Sanders fan ever. Okay, I played running back, and he's who I call the best running back to ever play the game.
Ever.
Yeah,
But
he's
I will
definitely
tell
the
you
Dan
right now-
Marino of running backs.
but I will
Absolutely.
tell
That's
you
what my
right
dad
now-
says too, Todd. My dad says that all the time.
But Barry was never fast.
No, but he was back to full speed. I'm not saying fast. I'm saying his quickness to hit that cut and then be at full speed again with his very first step.
It wasn't just that, though. It wasn't just that. His side to side, the way he
lateral
could move
movement,
his body,
His hip rotation was unreal. I mean,
and
his
when-
body,
Yeah,
he could
man.
literally have his legs facing a different direction as his
And
upper
there was-
body.
and
It's
there
like,
was no way one or two guys were going to take him down because
And
look
Todd,
at the size of
do
his
you
legs.
remember Mel Gray?
you almost had to have one guy going for his upper body and one guy following his legs, and one of you might get lucky, you know.
And Todd, do you remember Mel Gray? They had two twitchy guys on the team. So there was Mel
Yeah.
Gray for
Well,
kickoff
Mel Gray,
return.
that's what I say. He was a kick returner /
Dude,
corner,
they
I
had,
think.
and they had Barry. So, like, dude, if you kick it off to them, like this dude could take it
Yeah,
to the house, and Barry could take it to the house.
But see, the thing that made Barry so special is even when you had a hold of him, you weren't bringing him down unless you had a bunch of people there to help you out.
Yeah. Even if you
Yeah,
took
he had
his
such a
tennis
low
off,
center of gravity and such a wide base. Yeah, you just couldn't.
you would take
yeah.
his tennis off
His
before you
balance
take it down.
was second to none. So no, I don't think there will ever be another Barry, but I'm gonna look up this guy. I will.
I'm bringing the
guy
video.
up,
I'm gonna
man.
send it.
I
I'm
tell
gonna
you
send a
though,
video to
Todd, maybe not for size and raw running ability, but gosh, Lamar is close for a quarterback, man.
No,
you know
but,
what I mean?
hey, no,
Like,
but here's the deal. Name me one other person on that offense that had people scared besides Barry.
well, that's the same with the Ravens.
No, but
Who's
see, the
scared of
Ravens-
anybody but Lamar's running ability? You know
But
what I
here-
mean?
Okay, but you know what the big difference is? Lamar can throw the ball. Barry can't even do that.
Right,
You give
but
it to
right,
the
and I
Bears,
agree.
you know what he's
Now,
gonna do.
as far as sheer, I mean, obviously they're two different body types. You know what I mean? So I'm not trying to necessarily compare
everybody
one to one.
knew.
I'm just more talking about the hip and leg movement,
Yeah.
and the ability to just like be going one way while having everybody on the field think you're going another
Love
way.
Dale.
You know?
But listen, when going into a game, you knew Barry was going to touch the ball 30 times, and you still couldn't stop him.
Yep.
He had no offensive line either, besides Lomas Brown. That was his only.
Kind of like if
had.
Dan was only down by 3 in the fourth quarter, you knew you could turn the TV off and watch it later.
And you know what? That's why I will always curse Detroit, because they're the ones who nixed the trade for Barry coming to play with Marino towards the end.
El Capitan, you here? If you are, play that video I sent in private chat.
You know that, right?
What's that, Todd?
All right, y'all watch this video. This is Bijan.
Hey, Barry was going to be a Dolphin, but Detroit stopped the trade.
Bijan put on a show. On the motherfucking planet. I mean, the jump cut to vision and then the burst. And every time he touches it, we're seeing something different.
How about that little jitterbug, huh?
Wow, that was Barry right there.
Just what?
As Robinson gets the call, finds a crease and somehow gets to the outside. Reversing field. How does he even stay up? In space. Boy, is he terrific. What an electric.
I mean, number 17 is a goofball.
Now Robinson makes a spin move.
That was it right there. Boom, boom.
He's a human joystick. Player celebrating. Robinson.
There you go.
Ducks under.
Get lower than the other guy. That's what it's all about.
So, anyways, that's who I want. That's who I want to get in the 2020 draft.
Okay. That's the closest highlight film I've ever seen to Barry. I will give it that.
But the question is, Todd. Yeah, but the question is, Todd, is it still going to look the same against NFL defenders?
Let me tell you something, though. The way he moved his body there, I've only seen one other running back do it. The way he
sure, but what I'm saying is you saw that running back do it at the NFL level against NFL linebackers and linemen.
But even in college, I've never seen somebody with that twitch before.
Reggie was the closest. Reggie Bush was the closest, but this kid is closer than Reggie.
Reggie did not even come close. I'm sorry. Reggie was great in college, but he was not even close.
Yeah, LaDainian maybe I might go with LaDainian too. LaDainian was special.
No, because nobody could do it the way Barry did it.
Well, that's true. I'm not putting him up to Sanders' level. I'm just saying in the college ranks, he probably looked that good.
Barry looked like he was a cheat code. You know what I mean?
Sure.
He could do things on the football field that I've never, ever seen anybody.
Yeah, he could also do all that on the Tecmo TV screen too.
Just like, okay.
Like it was ridiculous. Like him and Bo Jackson, you could literally run up and down the field all day and not score if you wanted to on that video game.
I'm giving you the middle finger right now. because I was about to say the second cheat code was Bo Jackson, okay? Because he could run over people, and he took that.
All right, so I showed the Bijan Robinson highlights, Capitan. I got the Trayvon Henderson. This is a guy Ali likes out of Ohio State. So, and he's not even going to compare, but I do like Trayvon Henderson if we can't get Bijan. So show the video when you're ready, Cap. Or not. It's cool too. You know. It usually happens right when I think he's not going to do it, but he's busy.
Hey, let me ask you something. Have you heard of Max Borghi?
Say that one more time.
Max Borghi. Have you heard of him?
No. All right, let's watch this guy, and then I'll get into him. I'm going to look him up real quick. So this is Trayvon Henderson.
Henderson, his first carry, and he picks up a bunch. It's even more interesting. Third down 5. They drop it off. Here's Henderson, first down and more on the screen.
He's got a lot of speed.
Henderson, as advertised, touchdown Buckeyes. For Ohio State as the runners. And Henderson breaks the tackle in the backfield, cuts it up, keeps it moving. Tick-tock.
Okay, now you're not going to like what I have
Stroud.
to say.
Screen. Henderson with space and slips down. Henderson lines up next to Stroud. Henderson. Touchdown, Ohio State.
It needs to be just the opposite. Henderson almost popped it right there on first down.
The bottom line is you got to let go.
This is the guy Reason turned me on.
But you got to let it go.
Whoever that guy's tackle is making him, bro. All I know is I've seen 2 killer blocks by that tackle, man.
You want to know something, though?
That right there is what you...
Chat.
Huh?
This is Max Borghi.
Yes, this is the guy coming out this year.
Oh, if he's coming out this year, then I definitely want to watch. He's going to go on my board probably. Sharif says he's a poor man's Christian McCaffrey.
Yes.
Brian.
Well, Christian McCaffrey was a poor man's Christian McCaffrey.
He. All right, let's watch this first.
Yes, I'm here.
Definitely a Christian McCaffrey type.
Max Borghi picking a hole, bursts through it, shakes off a defender, and hits Painter with a touchdown.
Smart guy.
Gonna swing it to Borghi, and he'll get in.
All right, Cap, that's good.
Dude runs like Steve Smith, man.
Yeah.
He's just beating people up on the way, man. He's like, okay, you want to pile on me? I'm gonna punch every single one of you on the way down.
So Brian, there's people saying Borghi might be undrafted. You can get him this year, or are you gonna wait and go after one of the two next year? What'd you think?
Well, as far as what I would do with the running backs,
yeah.
Well, we do have Salvin Altman. The 49ers were high on him. They didn't want him to go. We also have Philip Lindsay that was a Pro Bowler in this system, in this scheme.
Yep.
So I would like to re-sign him. Duke Johnson most likely may not be back. And Gaskins, I don't think he will be back. And then we do got Jared Goats in the practice squad getting better. Hopefully we could, get something out of him. But yes, I would get a running back in the draft, probably in the first or 3 rounds.
You're talking about this year or next year, though?
For this year. And if we want to go we can get another one next year anyways, too. So, but for this draft, I would need a running back, and then I'll sign one in free agency.
Okay, that's fair. So, Todd, why do you like Borghi other than he looks like he's a Christian McCaffrey, just a less prolific?
He's very versatile. The man can go out and run patterns like a receiver, and he can play in the backfield. He's just a dual threat all over. And he's the only weapon they had, and he still produced.
I don't mean to change topics, but Color, did Bo really run a 4.13 40?
Who? Bo Jackson?
Bo Jackson.
I could imagine that, yeah.
4.13. What are you talking? That's moving.
and he weighed
I'm looking it up.
230 pounds.
4-1. I've never heard of that. 4.27 or 4.23. 4.21 is the fastest I've seen.
Hey, and he ran it. He did it at 230 to 240 pounds.
Most legendary 40-yard dash.
Yeah, this is why a guy like him didn't he play outfield in baseball?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why right there, shagging them balls, man. He could get to him.
You remember him running up the wall?
Yep.
Same with Dion. And didn't Dion like manufacture an inside the park home run?
1996 combine. He ran a 4.12 at the
wow.
Or 1986. Good Lord.
Wow. How big was he? How big was he?
Just, my Lord, that's so fast. Bo Jackson was 2, I think. Hang on. He was over here, 227 pounds, 6'1".
Running a 4.1. That's scary.
Yeah, that's stupid. That's unbelievable. Blake, I just looked it up. It's a legendary 40-yard dash. They talked about the first time it ever happened when he ran a 4.1 was in 85, and then 86 he actually did it at the combine.
What do you mean the first time? The only time? It hasn't happened since.
No. The first time he did it in 1985, and then he was at it says it right here. The first taking place in Arizona. Oh, wait, sorry about that. That was the first combine. 1986 was the second combine. That's what it was. I read it wrong.
Yeah.
So yeah, he did it. He ran a 4.12 at the 1986 NFL scouting combine.
Yeah, Dion's was 4.27.
Wow.
That's absurd. I've never heard of anybody going under 4.2.
So guys,
like ever. What up, Sharif?
Yeah, I was looking at the possibilities of Todd, and we did this last year. Like I was wondering if we should go for the big defensive tackle if the center isn't there, Tyler Linderbaum, or
about the guy from Georgia.
I'm talking about the nose tackle, the 360.
Yeah,
364 nose tackle, and he can get behind there and actually pass rush. I forgot what school he's from, but
Georgia.
Basically, if we address certain things in free agency, then we'll have the leisure of going after a wide receiver.
Jordan Davis.
Okay,
that's his name. Yeah.
So, and I wanted to see how you guys felt about how would you attack free agency to give yourself leisure in the 29th pick?
I'm getting Armstead and the guy from San Fran. I'm locking down my left side.
Yep.
So
I got it on good. I got it on good word. They're going after Armstead, the left guard from San Fran, and Moses at right tackle. And if they make those three moves, I'm good with that. To have freedom, that 29th pick, I don't want to pick. I want to trade it. I want to get more picks. I want to get this draft. The drop off isn't there between the second and fourth round like there has been in the past. Not that it hasn't ever been like this, but if you can trade back and get another second round pick, or maybe get a second and then a third for next year, that 29th pick to me, I just think it needs to be traded. That's what I would do with that period, unless Linderbaum's there.
Hey, no, there's one reason why I wouldn't trade it. Listen, there's a couple players I would take at that pick. There's a guy from Boston College.
Mm-hmm.
There's Linderbaum. There's one of those receivers might drop.
Treylon Burks.
Oh, God, please let him drop.
So, but Todd, but let me. So if Jacksonville,
yeah, he may drop, man.
Yeah, if Jacksonville or Detroit sitting there at 1 or 2 in the second round, they want to trade up to the 29th pick. You drop back, say 3 or 4 spots, and you pick up an extra pick. I think that's. I don't know. I think whoever you can get at 29, you can get it between 33 and 40.
No, you will not be getting a Treylon Burks.
Well, I don't want Treylon Burks. I don't want to go wide receiver in the draft. I want to go wide receiver in free agency, but that's just my plan.
I don't know what the price is.
Don't get me wrong.
Right. So that's how you would make your leisure. You'd give yourself leisure for the 29th pick by addressing wide receiver.
Yep.
Listen,
In the free agency, I think there's a couple
Todd,
guys
I think you're. Todd, is your mic low?
No,
I don't. Yeah, I don't
in and
know.
out.
I can't hear him. But I was gonna say the reason if I'm a best player available guy, but I also understand that between 27 and 45, it's gonna be a crapshoot of who's gonna be successful. And so if you can accumulate 2 more picks, and the only reason I'm doing this is because we've signed the offensive line guys. We brought in a running back if we're not sticking with Philip Lindsay and Jared Dokes, and we brought in a guy, and we went out and got either a Calvin Ridley. I want Chris Godwin, or I mean, God, I would love to have Devontae Adams. That's just a pipe dream. But I want Chris Godwin or Calvin Ridley. And if we do that, then that 29th pick, unless a Treylon Burks or a guy that by all accounts should have been drafted in the top 20 is there, the best player available, maybe I go draft there. But I'm a captain trade back. I like to pick up as many picks as possible. Top 100 picks, I should say. Yes, Mike, Ali, if I trade the 29th pick and I get to, let's say, 38 to 45 and Kenneth Walker's still there, I'd probably take a flyer on him at that point. Because it's one of the extra picks. And so, but I want to save our running back pick for 2023. I don't want to pick a running back this year. I'd rather, if we're going to pick a skill position player, go wide receiver, go offensive line, go middle linebacker, and be done with it.
They can still get a running back. They should get a running back this season.
Yeah, for me, I would address I would address a tackle or a center. Either one really good. It doesn't really matter. And then I would do that so I can have the leisure of addressing either a defensive tackle in the first round, if I can trade back, and then attack linebacker in the 3rd and 5th rounds. Then I'd probably
Todd, I'm taking that guy, Mike Rose, bro.
But we really need offensive. We really need offensive weapons. So that should really be a priority.
Do we though?
I think we can address that in free agency.
Hey, Cap.
Yeah, but we can get some more.
Put up Mike Rose highlights.
The thing is, the thing is, right? Tua cannot wait for wide receivers anymore to get good. I think he needs guys who you understand, right? Right.
Proven.
So I want to address wide receiver. Get 2 tackles.
We are getting one, and we are getting some in the free agency. I'm gonna get one more in the draft. I'm gonna get one nice one in the 29th or the other pick.
Right. I would
finalize that group.
I would like to get the nose tackle so I can see Christian Wilkins and Siler shine on the end, and Raekwon Davis finally shine on the end.
But our defense is not that bad. Our offense was bad. Our defense is great. We get that inside linebacker.
Disagree.
Straight.
I think they were running on us like crazy. I want to see a stuffer. 6'3", like I said, 364. The kids from Kentucky, I think. But he's 364, 6'6", unmovable. I want a guy who can just stop the run, and we weren't able to do that. And with 2 linebackers, either Osimo or Momoa, and the kid from Cincinnati, I would bring those 2 linebackers. We don't have any linebackers.
Yeah, Mike Rose, he's a middle linebacker.
I don't mind drafting a linebacker, but I'm saying,
what kid from Cincinnati? Burrow? I'm sorry, I was in the other room.
Yeah, what I was saying, Sharif, was as far as the wide receiver room, boom, we got Waldo, we got Lynn Bowden, I got Preston Williams. I want to see what Wes Walker do with him. His catching abilities probably will get better. Devontae Parker, I mean, most likely he might be on the team because of his money. I don't want him here, but most likely he might be here. And then he got Matt Holland.
That's already 4. Matt Collins.
So I don't mind going to get one wide receiver in free agency, and then going one in the draft, maybe in the 29th. and then just be done with it.
That'll be 7. That's good. Now that means what would you do with the 29th pick now that you'd address that in the free agency?
No, I would get one wide receiver in free agency, and if that 29th pick, I do see like a wide receiver I really like, then I'll probably take him. And then maybe the next pick just get running back and just be done with the running back and wide receiver.
Okay. And I think that philosophy can change now that Flores and New England community running backs is gone. So you may get that wish.
Yeah, because it's like we focus on defense for the last 2 years because the team.
Running back by committee, it was strong in San Fran too.
Yeah, we're gonna have great guys in the mix,
point.
like Lindsay.
That's a good point.
Like, we're gonna have great guys in the mix of the running back. So that we got Lindsley and Ackman and when we get in free agency.
Yeah, because just this year they did Raheem Mostert, they had Jeffrey Wilson Jr., they had the Mitchell kid, Elijah Mitchell. They and in Washington when they were there too. It's a lot of running back by committee for the way that Mike McDaniel has been brought up.
So should we take away the aspirations of drafting a running back early, or go crazy and think something that would never happen will actually do?
Unless he reverts to his Denver days and he goes and finds a back like Terrell Davis
in the 6th round, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Because that's when he was there.
So at 29, the only way I'm taking a player at 29 is if Devin Lloyd's there or Tyler Linderbaum. If either one of them aren't available, I'm trading back and I'm trying to get Zion with a top 40 pick and then see what happens after that. But if Mike Rose is there in the 3rd or 4th round, I'm taking him without a doubt. But I'm gonna put together my list of I'll do a mock draft. I'll do a 7-round mock draft where I think people are gonna go. And I'll see. I'll figure out how it lines up and what trades might be able to happen, and I'll share it with everybody. Yes, real quick before we go further. Remember, guys, hit the like button. If you're jumping in late and we're already off the air, make sure you hit like, subscribe, share this video. Remember, guys, on Tuesdays, we have Tonk 7 with TMI Tuesdays at 9 p.m. It also has color commentary as his co-host. On directly after that, you have open mic with me, Mike on the mic. Then on Saturdays, you catch me again with Drop the Mic. And then on Thursday nights, color commentary at 10 p.m. You can catch me also on Mondays on TD Fins Talk, and you catch color on TD Fins Talk on Friday. And then, as always, you can catch a Fins Tailgate with El Capitan. It is the tailgate party that never stops. We have a panel most of the time. Donate to the channel, Cash App, Venmo, subscribe. We're getting so close, man. We're on our way to 1,000. That's the standard we got to get to, and we're on our way. We're at this point, we're probably going to be there by next season, and we owe a lot of that to y'all, so I appreciate it. Tony, you jumped in, jumped out, and jumped back in, so I'm going to give you the floor, and then I'm going to go to Florida Born. Tony,
What's up, Tony?
Cool. Florida Born. What's up, dude?
What's up, brother, man? I love that Bijan Robinson. Hey, I'm down with you on that Bijan take, man, for sure.
He's a stud, bro. He's a stud.
Yeah,
yeah, but you heard what I said. Does he fit the system or does he dance too much?
So
you want a guy
he dances because hang on. He danced because our offensive line was trash last year. It was a lot of what Barry had to do in Detroit. But he does have that one cut, and there's videos I can show you where he takes that one cut and it's a jab step, and he has everybody going to the right where that zone is going, and then he cuts back to the left and takes it to the house. I think he fits the scheme. I think he fits whatever scheme you want to put him into. Let's say that.
Hey, fellas.
Tony, can you talk? Can you hear?
Yeah, I can't hear because someone has music.
Florida, mute your. Yeah, there you go. Go ahead, Tony. You're up, bro. You got the floor for a minute.
Yeah, honestly, and for me, were you just talking about the running back? I just joined.
I was just talking about Bijan Robinson out of Texas, but so basically where we're at right now is what do you need to see done in free agency so that you have flexibility with number 29 in the draft? It's a 2-part question. So tell us who you want them to pick up so that you can do what you want with the 29th pick.
Ben Jones and the guard from oh my God, there's an elite guard that
Zion.
Tomlinson, Lincoln Tomlinson.
Yeah, out of San Fran. He's going to be.
Yeah, Lakin,
I think he'll be.
Lakin. Yeah.
Then in the draft, I understand people don't want this, but I honestly with the coaches we've hired, let's be realistic. Do you guys really think they're going to be signing veteran offensive tackles for that much money? Really?
Yes. Yes.
Be realistic, Todd.
I am, because if I recall, we have an offensive coordinator who was in San Diego who just rebuilt the line with veterans.
And yeah, I was about to say he's the one that got Corey Linsley last year,
and they put $40 million on their line.
He knows.
But the guys before Corey Linsley, most of those kids were young second and third year players. That's what I'm saying.
But it's still what he did, though, Tony.
So, Tony, I see what you're saying. And what you're going at is that they brought in a lot of teachers so that maybe they're going to take with the guys we have and try and coach them up and teach them this scheme and see if they're worth it and see if their talent can be brought out on a better level and a higher production level. And I see where you're going with that, because I'm right there with you that I don't know if maybe we aren't going to spend big on the offensive line because of all the different types of teaching.
No, we better be spending on the offensive line this offseason.
Oh, I agree.
That's nonsense.
For what? Is Tua going to get mad?
Hey, here's the thing, though.
Brian.
Hang on, Todd. Hang on. Let Tony finish. Go ahead, Tony.
But Brian, what I'm saying we're not going to spend big on the tackles. What I'm saying, we're spending big money in the interior with the center and the guard, and we can have the two veteran guys in the interior and have two young guys on the outside to.
No, I want a veteran protecting my quarterback blind side, and I need another one on the other side. We're not doing this. We're not doing this young O-line. Yes, we have those coaches to be able to help coach the ones that we draft before, and we could trust them if they draft an offensive lineman in the draft. But if you have that cap space to be able to fix that offensive line, you go ahead and do it.
I'm not paying.
Go ahead, Tony.
I'm not paying $27 million a year for an injury-prone tackle in Teron Armstead. I'm not.
What about Morgan Moses?
I'm fine with Morgan Moses and maybe a Don Brown and stuff like that, but I'm not paying $27 million a year on a tackle who tends to get injured a few games.
My statement wasn't just get only Armstead. I just said, just to, if you have the cap space, you should be able to fix this offensive line.
Brian, he's not saying don't bring in guys. He's saying don't break the bank for the best guys, is what he's saying.
Yeah,
so
I'm not paying.
Save $10 million by going and getting a different left tackle that's not named Teron Armstead and getting a Morgan Moses for $8 to $11 million a year. You're not breaking the bank for tackles that. I just think he's talking about being more reasonable, maybe getting a second
to add to that, Mike. I'm not getting Cam Robinson. He's very up and down. No. I look at some of his tape. I would rather go the Orlando. Yeah, I would go the
Orlando Brown. Yeah.
Actually,
I would go the Brown route, or I would go the Ben Jones center and just take care of center.
What Tony just said. Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Listen.
Go ahead, Tony.
Listen.
Don't forget, guys.
Todd, you're up next.
This is an interesting thing. I want your guys' opinions on. How about having Ben Jones as our center and having a guy like having two athletic guys on the left side with Cam Robinson and Austin Jackson, because they fit. They're perfect fits for this scheme. Let's not forget that. They're perfect. They're the perfect fits for this scheme because you need a guy who can pull, a guard that can pull. And that's what Austin.
Well, hell, you need a tackle that can pull too.
We need a tackle still, though.
Hey, I got one that can pull. His name's Bernhard Reinman.
Yeah, if we get Ben Jones, we're gonna need a serviceable tackle. and that's why I would and then I would address one wide receiver, Christian Kirk, and then that 29th pick would have to go to a
Ryan Jensen,
defensive
man.
tackle for me.
Actually,
Yeah,
and
I
then
want Ryan Jensen. I want Ryan
have a
Jensen.
good-
I just don't think it's happening.
Actually, this is what I see them doing with the receivers. Actually, we have Jalen Waddle. He's our number one. I see Jalen Waddle as our number one receiver, technically, actually, and then sign Josh Reynolds as our second receiver and Cedric Wilson as a big slot receiver, and we can trade.
None of them are better than Christian Kirk, though. I would just pay Christian Kirk the middle tier of money, right, Tony? Just pay Christian
Hang on,
Kirk
guys.
one
Hang
time.
on. Real quick. Hang on, Tony. Florida, what was the name you were saying?
I said I got a tackle that can pull, and his name's Bernhard Reinman in the draft.
Okay, cool. And then Todd, what were you gonna say?
Here's the thing: I can agree with Morgan Moses. Okay, I can also agree with the guard, but the monkey wrench that gets thrown in is Austin Jackson is the perfect scheme fit athletically. If he can get cleaned up by good coaching, he'd be great for the team. But the problem is, you need to have him a year under this coaching, being taught second string to somebody, and you need to bring in a veteran for maybe 1 year. Now, wasn't there a guy in Philadelphia that's been around forever that wants to come back?
Jason Peters.
1 more year.
Jason Peters.
Wouldn't he be somebody you'd want to lock in for maybe 1 year to
Yeah.
help and let him learn underneath, and then Jackson could take over after that you clean up his technique with these guys?
Yeah, I like that a lot. Sharif, go ahead and ask your question to Tony. Ask your question to Tony, what you were saying about Kirk. Sharif.
Oh, I was saying Christian Kirk is not better than Reynolds. I mean, Reynolds is not better than Christian Kirk. I don't think the kid Gallup is better than Christian Kirk.
Christian Kirk is at best a slot receiver, and honestly, I would rather have a bigger body. We need a bigger.
He's
body
6'1". Yeah, but he can take the boundary though.
Christian Kirk is 5'11". What are you talking about?
Christian Kirk is 6'1". Let me just double check on but he played slot because they had Fitzgerald and the other kid on the other side, right? The other superstar receiver.
He's 5'11".
Healthy.
He's 5'11".
He's 5'11". All right.
Yeah.
So we need a boundary kid.
You gotta go get if you're looking for that type of guy, it's got to be a Mike Williams. Cedric Wilson's not bad. I've watched him a lot here in Dallas. He does have some upside. Or you're gonna have to go get. If you can trade for DK Metcalf, go get Metcalf.
That's what I'm saying. We need a number 2 receiver because
not a slot guy, and you see a slot guy as your number 3. Yeah.
Yeah, and don't forget. Waddle, our number 1 receiver, realistic, isn't he our number 1? That's my question.
Oh, yeah, Waddle's number 1 without a doubt.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Josh Reynolds is a good number 2. A good number 2 receiver.
I like that. There's 2 cheap receivers I like in Renfro and Braxton Berrios, man. I'd like to bring in Braxton Berrios just for special teams, man. Those are 2 cheap guys. And Renfro popped last year, man.
Hunter Renfro?
Those are 2 cheap options.
I like Hunter Renfro.
Hold up. Hunter Renfro ain't getting away from Vegas.
How the hell is he a free agent?
He's a free agent.
They're not going to let him go.
He's in a free agent, man.
There's no way he's a free agent yet.
And actually, this is where I understand why you guys don't want another young offensive lineman. Being the coaches that we've hired, you really think they're going to be spending big money on the offensive line on the outside instead of developing the young tackles that can fit our scheme and stuff like that? That's my question to you guys.
Tony, I got a question for you, bro. So Gio says he fixed our Dolphins. What did he do?
He okay. Oh my God. I forgot. I know he drafted Isaiah Spiller. At number 16, he drafted Chris Olave because he traded up, and then at number 29, he got Treylon Burks.
Drake London, Isaiah
And
Spiller.
who's gonna block to give Tua time?
Honestly, guys.
Sharif, I don't know if you heard me, and I'm gonna keep repeating this so people let it click. I'm not saying it's set in stone, but the 3 targets are Taron Armstead, Laken Tomlinson, and Morgan Moses.
Oh, I
And then
love that.
They're gonna move
I like
Dieter.
that too.
I love
They're
that.
gonna move Dieter.
My-
they're gonna keep Dieter at center, and then
real quick.
Robert Hunt will stay at right guard. And then the
I'm
odd
telling
man
you,
out is
he's
Liam
gonna
Eichenberg. The odd man out is Liam Eichenberg. Will probably be traded.
I am telling you,
Robert Hunt is going to be a Pro Bowler.
I was distracted for a minute. I wanted to say something about Hunter Renfrow. There is one way to drag him over here.
Wes Welker.
Oh no, be quiet about Watson.
Honestly, I feel like Robert Hunt is
I mean,
a Pro Bowler.
his
Clemson
favorite
guys.
quarterback is
Both-
available. You know,
Both Clemson guys. Yes, I know what you're going at. But hold on,
Todd, what were you
here's
gonna
the
say?
thing. Dieter won't stay at center.
You think he's going to left guard?
No, I don't think he'll be starting.
Okay, so then but then who are you bringing in at center?
I am telling you right now, they're going to look at getting a center in the draft from Boston College. I know they're real high on him. He knows the communication.
I was hoping you said
with his
Jensen.
own. No.
What's his name?
No.
Alec Lindstrom. He's Chris.
Yeah.
His brother played in the NFL. Chris.
Yep.
Yeah,
He knows how to run the zone scheme better than anybody we have on the team right now. And the center.
And Applebaum got him.
If he's there at 29, I think we shore up that center.
And the center is the biggest communicator. And if he knows the system and he can communicate.
And guess what? That kicks Dieter to right guard. That kicks Hunt to right tackle. Then we can get a free agent to battle that left guard with Arthur Jackson.
Wait. How does that kick Hunt to right tackle if you get Morgan Moses? Because that's his position.
So Dieter would go on the left guard then, because I'm not starting Jackson over
Thompson.
Dieter would be
Dieter's
second
gone.
string. Dieter
is a great guard.
That's a great backup, though.
It would be a swing. He would be a swing. He would be a swing offensive lineman, swing tackle, swing guard, whatever you want to call it. It would
But
go
right
Taron
now,
Armstead
he's
at left
better
tackle.
than Austin
Hang on,
Jackson.
Sharif. Hang on, Sharif. It would go Taron Armstead at left tackle, Laken Tomlinson at left guard, Dieter at center, and if it's not Dieter, it's the guy Alex Lindstrom. Right guard would be Robert Hunt, and Morgan Moses would be right tackle.
That's a beautiful
Dieter would be
line.
the odd man out. Dieter would be the odd man out if we took a guy like Alec Lindstrom.
I think Austin Jackson is the swing tackle off the bench if that happens.
Swing tackle, yes. Dieter can be your swing guard and center.
But here's the thing.
Because Dieter is a mauler at guard.
If we don't get Morgan Moses.
Yeah, he is.
Say we don't get Morgan Moses. Say we just go with 2 left. That's when I see us take that guy Smith in the first round from Boston College and still move Hunt to right tackle and put him at guard and then still take Lindstrom later.
No, I think Robert Hunt is so better at right guard.
He is, but he can still be a good good right tackle. And he's
I get it'll be a good tackle, but why not get the Pro Bowler at right guard and a good tackle?
Because as people have said before, the team needs to come before the player individual.
That's nonsense. You just go get a right tackle.
But
if you're spending all the money on that one
Todd,
we gotta spend money.
That's where I honestly see this is why I don't know why people don't see this. I'm saying this is why I'm seeing we draft a young guy like a Bernard Raymond or a guy like Charles Cross and stuff like that, and put him at left tackle, and then have the veteran at right tackle and keep Hunt at
honestly,
right guard.
Honestly, if we were gonna,
I like that.
Exactly.
be honest with you, the best, if you wanted to not spend as much money, and the best way to do it would be to get Jason Peters to play left tackle. Let your man learn under him for a year.
I have
Morgan
a
Moses
question.
on one side.
Does
That
the
way you
big
have your two
Samoan kid?
veterans this year.
I have a question. Does the big Samoan kid from Minnesota fit our running
No,
scheme?
no,
Bilal?
not one bit.
I saw
Not.
him
Too
in a
big.
mock draft and I laughed.
He is
6'7",
slow.
380.
He is slow. He makes
Even in
Kinley look
his
fast. He
weight?
makes Kinley look fast.
Now he can wall you off, but not on our scheme.
No,
Dude, he
that's
was
what I'm saying.
getting
If you
beat
rapidly
at
lose
the
his weight,
Senior
do you
Bowl.
think
He
he
was
becomes
getting
more
beat
mobile?
by every end around the outside.
No, the question is, let's say we bring him in and he loses weight. You think his mobility
Nope.
won't improve if he
No.
goes to like 330, 340?
No, because he's been playing at that weight so long. That's his strength. That's his thing. No, he's a
Like the
power.
last dude who was that tall to play in the NFL was the defensive tackle for New England, right? And they don't last.
There was a
Big
defensive
tall.
tackle. There was a defensive tackle in San
You're talking about
Francisco.
Jamie Collins or possibly Sharif? Is that who you're
Oh,
talking
no,
about?
it's
No.
Falele.
No, the
Falele.
defensive tackle that won a Super Bowl with New England, and he was like
Yeah.
6'8", 380.
Hey, but there was a defensive tackle.
Falele,
From
6'9".
Oregon.
Falele would be a perfect fit for
Who
Tua.
was like 6'8", 6'7". The defensive tackle from Oregon.
And he
who
was a
played
Pro
with San
Bowler
Fran.
too. That's when New England won their second or third ring. They had this.
Sharif. Sharif, it's Ed Too Tall Jones that you're thinking of, and he played for the Cowboys.
No.
Blake McDonald. The three guys that I want, sorry, I was doing the math. I am listening to everybody, but the three guys that I wanted in Taron Armstead, Laken Tomlinson, and Morgan Moses would cost roughly $31 million between the three.
I don't mind that.
If that's market value.
Whoa. How is that if Taron Armstead's going to command at least 20 by himself?
I got 23.9, 5.5 for Morgan Moses, and like right at 3 for Laken Tomlinson.
Laken Tomlinson's going to require a lot more than that because he just came out.
He's gonna ask for about 7. I know. Moses is gonna ask for about 8.
No, Morgan Moses. They say he's market value for him is 7.7. So I had that wrong. So it was 33, 34.
Right.
Yeah.
And the kid Lincoln, the kid Lincoln is
million.
gonna ask for about 7.
The market
And,
value for interior guys, Todd, is not that high, actually. They're at most.
And Morgan Moses is a little bit older, too.
But the interior guys, like guard and center guys, are not going to be asking for a whole bunch of money. They're going to be asking, the highest they're going to be asking is like 6 to 7 million, because interior guys don't get that much money. The tackles
Ideally, you could probably look at 35 million between 3 offensive linemen.
Well,
Right.
if that's the case, then I would do it.
How about Jensen?
Don't give me
And guess what? Let's finish that out. Let's sign the defensive end, Ogba. That would be 45
about
million.
47 or about 49.
47. So let's continue to sign Needham. Hold up, Tony. Let's just continue to sign Needham and let's sign Preston.
Well, Matt Collins.
And so we signed our own guys. How much is that, Mike?
You're sitting at right about, I'd say 63 to 66.
Okay. So with 20 million left and 8 for our rookies, who else can we go out? Can we even get our receivers still?
Yeah, I think you go get a Chris Godwin, but that'd be it. You'd be done.
Let's be realistic now. We just can't. We can take care of some things, but the rest has to be for the draft at some point.
Yep. Or you just wait till next year too. Because
now, what
people? We can trade some people.
Now, what if we take away our left tackle there and put in like a Peters for 1 year?
Re-sign Ogba, but I'm gonna say this again. I know people don't want to hear this, but his production is not worth 18 to 19. He's not an
Tony,
elite.
Go ahead, Tony. Sorry.
He is not an elite pass rusher. I'm not going to be paying him 18 to 19 million. That's what he's gonna ask. He's gonna be asking.
First
About
off,
13.
he's going to be
He'd
asking
pay him about 13. I think he'd be
but I'm
good
saying
with that.
he's going to be asking for about 13 to 15.
So, and I'm telling you right now.
Number two, he is an elite pass rusher. If you look at not the sacks, he had 9.5.
But the pressures, dude, and the freaking
ball's padded.
So here's the deal.
And
Here's
the
the deal
hits.
with him is there's a very strong likelihood that we offer him a 4-year, $52 million contract, and he is 4 years, 62, $52 million. So it'll be 4 years, $52 million, and he's going to turn us down because somebody's going to offer him 4 years and about 60 to 61 million, and he's going to go elsewhere. And my bet's Jacksonville.
No, I don't.
Yeah,
think
and that'll be
Jacksonville. You know
terrible
why?
for Jalen Phillips. That would hurt.
I don't.
You got a guy like Calais Campbell you could bring in though.
No,
That's who I was thinking. If you get Calais and bring him at nose, then you can kick Wilkins silent and Raekwon Davis to the outside edge.
Calais Campbell's on his last leg.
Oh, I know, but I'm not looking for a guy.
You just
I'm not
need
looking
him
for a
to
guy
eat
for
run
the future. I'm
stops.
looking for a guy for this season.
Just
You
eat
can
run
draft a guy
stops.
for next year.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I want Agba back for a couple seasons.
I do too, but Todd, hear me out, bro. I'm not just. You should know by now. I don't just blow smoke. This is stuff that I've read into, and there's a really strong likelihood that Emmanuel
Old
Agba
UM
ends up
guy
in
wants
Jacksonville
his last
because
career
he's
in
going to
Miami.
get more money than we're willing to give him.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying. I know people don't want to hear this, but I honestly think he's going to be asked his
17 to 18
production.
million.
Yeah, I've been saying this, and people think I'm crazy. He's going to be asking for that much.
So I got a question for the panel. Like, after all this is said and done and we make all these moves, do you guys really think that's enough for Strebler to succeed?
Hey, after all of these moves, Color, the better question is, do we still beat Buffalo? And the answer is no for me. I don't think this is enough. Even after all of this, you would need insurmountable.
But Sharif, the guy makes instructional videos on how to throw a football. You don't think this guy can beat Buffalo?
He's in to simulate Buffalo.
You'll find out if we let Jesse Davis play week 1.
I haven't heard that. You know where I live, right?
What's up, Todd?
You know where I live, right?
No.
Jackson.
I'm in Jacksonville, and I haven't heard that.
You haven't heard that yet? I'm
No,
going to
and
send
they're
you the
not-
article I found. I've got a buddy of mine, the big-time Jacksonville Jaguars fan, and he's the one that sends me all the juicy stuff. I have friends that I'm lucky. I have friends that are diehard fans of teams all over the country.
I know Jacksonville wants to trade out of the first-round pick.
They don't want
I
that
do.
1-1 anymore.
Yeah. Why would they? They don't need a quarterback.
No, but Evan Neal, you got to grab him if you're Jacksonville. I think trading out, if you're not trading to 2 or 3 and you let Evan Neal go, I think they're screwing up for the best interest of Trevor Lawrence.
I think they're stupid to trade any of these picks. What you do is you get generational players for your core now. I would keep every pick in draft.
They're so damn young in Jacksonville right now, too. And say what you want about their coach. He's done it.
Yeah, Peterson has.
Man, I'm telling you, Trevor Lawrence is about to light this league up, man.
I think
I'm
so,
telling
too.
you.
I really do think so.
I couldn't think of a better fit for Jacksonville than Doug Peterson, man. Wow.
And guess what? I think London's gone. I think London's gone. Yeah.
Oh, I know. We're not going.
No, I think one of those Jacksonville picks or one of those Philly picks, I think London is gone. And the receiver Burks for Trevor Lawrence. Oh my God, if Trevor Lawrence gets one of these guys.
Now you forget there's a receiver coming out of Clemson that Trevor Lawrence is
Justin Ross.
Justin Ross.
And he's going to be a later round pick because of the injury. That would be a steal for him.
And Lucky, you may not look. I'll tell you this, Lucky. I am 100% more confident that Trevor Lawrence is going to be a stud in this league than I am TT. So you cannot be sold on Lawrence. I think
Oh,
Meyer
that's
completely
nonsense.
ruined he literally ruined his rookie season. I think Trevor Lawrence is about to show he's going to have one of the highest. He could win comeback player of the year because of the jump his stats are going to take this next year.
Or his ceiling could be Jared Goff, in fairness, Mike. You know what I mean?
I
But
could be
he is
wrong.
definitely gonna he's definitely gonna make strides like Goff did. You know what I mean? It's just a matter of how far can he go further than Goff did.
But you
Color, what do you think about the kid in New York? I think the Jets kid has sky talent, man.
Zach
That
Wilson,
game he
100%.
played against us,
Oh, it
man,
was
I was
enjoyable.
afraid
I
of him.
mean, as much as a
Yeah,
Jet could be
no
enjoyable
problem.
watching, I guess. But
Hey,
yeah,
hey,
it was,
you
you
guys
know,
It's
do
better than the
realize
butt fumble.
he had me on pins and needles at the game. So yeah.
Trevor Lawrence has the
You-
same problem Tua has. Look at this O-line they put in front of him when Cam Robinson's your best blocker.
Yeah, and
That's why
they
I don't
beat our
want him.
defense.
Team doesn't fit. Like
No, you know who beat our defense?
I know. I've heard it all.
No, that game we were banged up in that game because we didn't have our two starting corners in that game.
Our
DJ
offensive lack to put the game away is why our defense collapsed.
Oh, well,
guys, I have a question.
our
I
offense
understand
gave the
we need
lead.
receivers. I understand receivers, but what happens? I understand this is not realistic, but what happens if Karlaftis is there? Do you guys draft him over a receiver?
That
He's the
sounded
best
like
player.
Samoan, so yes. sorry.
George, the pass rusher from Purdue. Let's say he's there. I understand we need a receiver and a running back. He's the best player available over the receivers. Would you guys draft him or still get the receiver?
I think this year, they want to rebuild the offense. I think you're going to see a lot go into this offense.
Exactly. Just be done with the offense. Get it done.
No, if we do the guys, after we do all that in free agency, doing the receivers and the offensive line in free agency, but draft a pass rusher or something. Because honestly, what scares me about X, to be honest, is he has chronic knee issues. Can you trust him to stay healthy a whole season? I understand he stayed healthy.
But we have backup. We have Noah. We have Trill Williams. We have other corners, and we brought in
Dude, we said we're re-signing Nick Needham, and that's a backup.
No, he's a slot. Nick is at best a slot.
Nick was a starting corner his rookie year here. He was the outside corner, our number one corner. When
He can play both. Patrick Surtain.
No, that's what I'm saying. But realistically,
I just want
when
player
I look
coaches.
at Nick,
That's cool.
I don't see see him keeping up with the elite receivers. That's the problem.
No, Nick Needham will be fine on the outside. Now you're putting him with Madison to teach him. He'll be perfectly fine because he's a Madison type.
Can I ask you? We have to trade out X. Like, we're not gonna. Are we gonna actually gain any money by trading him out? Because who are we gonna? I mean,
dude, why are we gonna even trade X?
What I mean is, are we rolling with what we got beyond him, or are we gonna find a replacement for him? Because we've already got him under contract. We just restructured him and stand to gain like $4 million because of that restructuring as soon as free agency starts.
Here's my stance on that. Hang on, Tony. Here's my stance on right now. If there is one area on this team that is set. And if they screw it up, they're messing with something they don't need to mess with. And it's our secondary. With Needham, Howard, Jones, and Holland.
Agreed.
Do not mess with those five guys, and roll with it and see what happens over the next 5 years. You do whatever you have to keep them together.
And you notice
the one area we don't need to improve.
You notice
the last time we had a good secondary like this, it was Sean Wood and Brock Marion, Sam Madison, and Patrick Surtain. That was our best corner.
And isn't it kind of funny that we have them both back now?
Color, you wanted your answer to a team in the top 10 is offering their top 10 pick, and we can draft Stingley
There's
for
no
X.
way a team is going to give us a top 10 pick for X. I'm sorry. X is good for us, but with his contract, and his back medical issues, they're not going to give you a top 10 pick. You'd be lucky to get a second round pick. So no, for a second round pick,
even with his
that's on the
production,
field.
even with X's production.
Yes, even with his production, his age will take that away right off the bat. You're not getting a top 10 pick. There's
Or
no way.
even how about a top 15?
You're not getting a first round pick for him because of his age.
Todd and Color, this is puzzling me because why would you sign a corner or bring back Coleman when you can just give Igbenogany that spot and let him learn? I wouldn't bring anybody in. I wouldn't draft for any corner because what you're saying is then.
Did I say draft a corner? I'm not drafting a corner.
No. I'm just asking. Would you? I don't. Would you? How you guys feel? Because
I'm bringing
I
back
would let.
Justin Coleman. Listen, I'm bringing back Justin Coleman, but I'm letting Noah learn with Madison and Surtain the best way possible.
So you wouldn't give him Coleman's spot behind Needham?
I don't think I would right now. I don't have enough faith
Wow,
in him
that
yet.
says a lot about what we think about the kid, because I believe, right? I'm wasting money at this point, not putting him in the fire.
Listen. You know who I would honestly put above him, and this is going to scare you about him?
Trill Williams?
Yeah, Trill Williams.
So if we got Trill Williams, we don't have to bring in Coleman and Noah. He has raw talent. And you get him some good DB coach like Madison and stuff to learn. He only gonna get better by playing games. So if you don't allow him to play games, he's not really gonna get better as he could. So why keep Coleman? You wasting money.
Here's the thing.
Do you guys think we draft another
Here's
safety?
the thing. You know what I do?
Do you guys see us drafting another safety?
Hold on, Tony. Let Tyler respond.
You know what I do? I'm letting our two starting corners play a couple snaps a game in preseason, and I'm putting Noah out there every game, almost every snap
I
the rest
agree.
of the way in each game.
I agree.
Okay, that's how I'm going to see how he's improving. If he doesn't cut the bill against other teams' preseason players, then you're not making the field when the season comes around right away.
Okay.
Yeah, he could just be a backup, and then Trill Williams would be ahead of him.
Man, look, man, I don't want to have to go get another When we got Justin Coleman, I was like, why are they getting him? And they have
Justin started
Igbenogany.
balling at the end, though.
You see what I'm saying? So I think we need to kind of put this kid in the fire and then figure if he's a bust at week 1, 4 weeks of preseason, we should know. We should be hollering for Igbenogany to be playing if he's out of his mind, right? And at that point, cornerbacks would be expendable on our team.
I'm telling you, Exton Jones would only play the first series of each preseason game. And
Sharif,
I'm telling you,
and
Noah and Trill would be playing the rest. And
this is what I hate when people say he's a bust already, forgetting the fact that the kid. I'm not saying you guys are saying it, but there's fans saying this kid's a bust already, forgetting the fact he's only played the corner position for 2.5 seasons. How long does it?
The same as Surtain? Surtain never saw the field for 2.5 years until someone got injured and he had to play slot.
Let me ask you all something. And this is Color. This goes with you two on this one. Is Austin Jackson a bust?
No, he's not a bust.
He wasn't.
The
scheme wasn't fitting him.
Color.
That's the problem.
I mean, I wouldn't say he's a bust because,
the kid's only 22.
I mean, that's if you're talking about is he Richmond Webb or Keith Sims? No, but is he a bust? I mean,
dude,
how do we know most offensive linemen? If they're not a Richmond Webb or a Keith Sims, you're going to need a couple years to know.
No. There's a reason why I'm asking. All right, Noah, we haven't seen, right? Austin Jackson's played a lot, and as of right now, where was he? Towards the bottom of the league, and he's allowed a boatload of quarterback pressures. Every week he was in double digits for a while.
Yeah, but I mean, if we're changing a scheme for the quarterback, and we're all saying, well, that scheme might improve the quarterback because it accentuates his skill set, then why wouldn't we assume the same thing's possible about every one of our linemen?
Exactly.
Okay, well, here's the thing.
Unless it's really never been about, if it's giving everybody a chance except for Tua.
Hey, no,
Stop that nonsense, Cutler.
Hold up, Cutler. Here's why I'm saying this. I'm not ready to call Tua a bust because I'm not ready to call Austin Jackson a bust. The people who are going to do it got to do it both ways. All right, you know what I mean? Because they both have played, and they both don't pass the eye test. Let's see if they both improve.
Well, given that there's, we've had multiple 100-yard rushing games, I would say that Austin Jackson is probably further along when it comes to his job than Tua is when it comes to his job.
Oh my goodness, that's a terrible take, Cutler. That's pure hate.
Why not?
That's pure hate on Cutler.
I mean, you spoke of one stat where he fails at.
We had how many?
You know what I mean? I can point out
He was
5
so bad
stats
they had to
that
move him
Tua
to
fails
guard.
at.
Stop that nonsense. He was so bad he had to move him to guard. Stop that
Hey,
nonsense.
And then he didn't even cut it at guard.
Todd, I have a this isn't a thought I was thinking of. I understand people don't think overpaying for Cam Robinson is a bad idea, but having an athletic guard and a guy like Austin Jackson.
I'm in Jackson,
Cam
but Cam Robinson is garbage.
Having 2 athletic guys on the left side would actually benefit.
Cam Robinson is garbage. I'm in Jacksonville. He's not that good. He gets, man, no.
I mean, Todd, what I'm saying doesn't just come from a vacuum. I mean, I'm finding it hard pressed to realize why we would have brought in 5 coaches that, are specialists in all forms of offensive line play and whatever else. I mean, to me, it's senseless. It's like if you're going to build this offensive line in free agency with a bunch of veterans, sure, you bring in a couple of coaches that are specialists, but to bring in a whole specialist team,
you know what though?
I mean, obviously the people that are making those decisions agree with me on what I think about, the difference between who's, shown enough in their job or their position. I mean, the same front office believes that Tua has shown enough to build around, and I don't agree with that. So why would I disagree with them about something that is a little more agreeable?
Hey, Applebaum said the perfect quote the other day. You heard him in his interview. They said, so you heard the offensive line. He goes, yep, I've heard. Trust me about them needing a lot of help. He already knows. They've already went over the tape. He knows this offensive line needs a retool. But some of these young guys, like Jackson, they could play second string and learn. They need to learn. He needs to learn the fundamentals. Eichenberg doesn't have the athletic traits to make it. Hindley doesn't have the athletic traits to make it.
Then what was Greer seeing when he drafted him?
But it was different schemes, Cutler. That's the thing. It's a different scheme.
Under Shangaley, it's a power scheme. That's when they, and then under what Flores. Listen, first off, they screwed up the draft. Why are you going to draft an athletic tackle mixed with power?
For the same reason. Why are you going to, your question was, let me just make sure I heard you correctly. You said your question was, why would you draft an athletic offensive lineman?
To go with the power scheme with the other guys. It was mismatched. They screwed that up big time.
I'm not sure our intent wasn't to do the exact same thing that Mike McDaniel's attempting to do.
No, because if not, you're not.
I mean, it was Flores's words that said we're gonna bring sound defense to Miami in a running game, and we're gonna burn the clock out, and that's how we're gonna win in Miami. He's the one that said that.
He still didn't do that.
And he did.
Okay. I'm not arguing that, Brian. We all know he didn't do it. Okay, and even if he didn't, that's not why he was fired. So get over it. Okay.
Now there's another tackle on our team that
still true.
No, it's not true.
Hey,
he was not fired for job performance.
No, I didn't
unless
say
you've
about
got
being
some
fired.
kind
I
of
said he
psychic
did not
ability that we all
establish.
don't have.
No, I'm saying he did not establish the run
Okay,
game. And
fine.
we already agree on
okay,
that.
fine, but that was his intent. And if Greer was drafting based on that intent, then obviously Greer would believe in his offensive lineman just like he believes in his quarterback.
Now, hey, do you guys remember the other offensive lineman that we got later on in the season that hasn't even played it down with us? What was his name? We got him from another team I guess he was a cut or whatever. Who was that tackle we picked up? The young guy. Mike. Who was that tackle that we picked up towards the middle of the season that didn't play it down but was real athletic?
Robert Jones?
No. He was an undrafted free agent. No, this
yeah,
guy
Robert
was
Jones is an undrafted free agent.
This was a guy we got from another team. He was a first round pick for them.
Oh,
Isaiah Wilson?
Yeah.
No. We got rid of him already.
And besides the fact that you're saying we drafted
Greg Little.
We drafted an athletic offensive lineman, which was the wrong fit for the scheme Flores was trying to run. But if that's the case, and now we're trying to change that, why would we get rid of that guy if we now need athletic offensive linemen?
I'm not saying we're going to get rid of him, but I'm saying they need a year under some veterans to learn the fundamentals.
We need veteran. Exactly.
Well, I agree that they need a year under a veteran to hone their skills. But if anybody's trying to learn fundamentals in the NFL, they need to get off my team. This is exactly the problem I have with our quarterback.
Well, that's nonsense. That's why you have the coaches.
It's not nonsense.
What are you talking about?
Professional football players. They've been playing the game their entire life. Why are they learning fundamentals at the NFL level?
Fundamentals is not good, so they got to learn it.
Then they.
5. Good. 7.
If their fundamentals ain't good because they have slacked off, that's one thing. But to say that they've got to learn them, that's ridiculous.
They gotta improve.
They can go do it in Jacksonville or the Jets or any of these other teams that want to keep being a training ground for every
all
other
these
team in the
coaches to
league.
help coach these young guys. That's what we did.
Hey, okay. So at that note, real quick, I'm gonna remind everybody to like, subscribe, share. Make sure you're checking out Tonk 7 with TMI Tuesdays at 9 p.m. And you can check out Open Mic with Mike on the Mic afterwards at 10 p.m. Then you got Drop the Mic on Saturday at 10 p.m. Then we got color commentary on Thursday. And as always, you got the Fins Tailgate with the tailgate party that never stops. Help support to the channel. Cash App, Venmo down there at the bottom. Remember, like, subscribe. We're on our way to 1,000. Let's get us there. And we are partnered with fanatics.com. So you can go there at the link in our description for each video. Click the link, go in there, and you can get everything you want. Hats, hoodies, jerseys, pants, underwear, socks. I don't care. You probably get pocket squares with NCAA, NFL, NBA, MLB, NASCAR, golf, whatever you want. It's the one-stop shop for all of your merchandise for fan apparel and everything else. And they have Tua jerseys that Kohler likes.
I was hoping because I was about to ask because I wasn't sure if they did or not, man.
All right, I know that's funny. So, so that being said, we're at the point where I like to round out the show. We just got some hot topics, okay? We just got fun. So everybody now gets about 30 seconds to a minute to let out all your steam and your final thought on what you wanted to say that maybe you didn't get to say while we were on the mic tonight. So Kohler, I'm going to let you stop at the end and finish it, but I'm going to start with Todd. Todd, give us your final thought.
Everybody love everybody. Come on.
You gonna do
Go
this
ahead,
again?
Todd.
No, I have nothing against anybody up here. You know, it's all respect. It's just when it comes to this offensive line, I'm gonna trust who we brought in, whether they're gonna teach the younger guys or bring in some veterans. But me, I want the veterans, okay? But I want also some of this young talent that we have, like Little and Jackson, to stay around and learn from these guys. Because I think they could be the next starters. Because, to be honest with you, our offensive line has had no coaching since they've been brought to the NFL.
Yeah, it's plug and play. Do what you're supposed to do.
this is going to be the first coaching they have, because even if you look on the sidelines, our coach last year was lost. He was sitting there with them looking at like, what are we going to do? And that's what I want to see, the improvement. But I don't, if we want to win, they're not going to start this year. They're going to sit and learn. And that's my main thing.
Cool.
Y'all have
Appreciate you jumping. Yeah, appreciate you jumping on, Todd. If you want to stay in backstage, talk for a little bit afterwards. Brian Flores, I'm not a head coach. Why don't you go ahead and give us your final thoughts, Bubba?
Thank you. I love Todd Point. We have the cap space right now. It's no longer the time to be cheap. We're gonna get veteran presence. That's the reason why it didn't work last year, because not only we had young offensive linemen trying to figure it out with not the proper coaching, but we also have a coaching staff. The guy is his first time coaching. So you have young coaching, and then you have young offensive line. It was not proven to work. So you trying to win now, and we need that upgrade so we get veteran presence in the offensive line. We'll keep Austin Jackson. Solomon Kinley is going to be gone. Liam Eichemers is probably going to be gone. But Austin Jackson and Robert Hunt going to be there. So that's how I feel about it.
Cool. Appreciate you, Brian. Thanks for jumping on as always. Sharif, go ahead and give us your final thoughts, Bubba.
Yeah, man. Appreciate it again for the invite, guys. Remember to comment after the show on the topic, especially what we've been talking about. And since you all know now that there's $63 million left after we re-signed everyone and got $33 million of tackles and centers, then you can add in who you want and how your balance would be left so you can enter the draft, and leave it in the comments. Make sure you subscribe and like the Colors channel as well. And let's do this. For me, I'm great with most of the guys' ideas of how would they enter the draft after they address free agency. I'm good with it. But my thing is this: I'm afraid for the news that'll come out about Ross and maybe draft picks taken away. And I think, I just think that Ross is just it's a bigger cloud than you can ever want over your team, man.
He's got to go. Yeah, he's got to go.
And whether he goes or not, like, we're going to have to deal with the results of what he did to Flores in 2019, whether it comes out by the boat or by audio, of giving money. And so we as fans may not see Tua grow properly because an owner who's a narcissist. And nobody's looking at it like that. You're wasting Tua's time. You're wasting this young defense's time because you're an asshole.
Yep.
And so that's my take. And you guys have a good night, man.
Hey, appreciate you, Sharif, as always. Thanks for coming back by. Go ahead, Color, round us out, Bubba.
So this idea that a coach has to be a teacher, okay, we got to get off of that. Okay, these are grown men. I don't care if they just got out of college or not. These are grown men that are coming into a professional business. Okay, I expect them to know their position. Okay, now if you're talking about coaching up, or because there's, people slacking off or whatever, or there's rust, or hey, you never really run this scheme before. Okay, but the fundamentals are a different story. Okay, completely different story. This is the problem I have with our quarterback. Okay, and it goes right down to the same issue we've had for 25 years. Everybody we bring in, what's the difference if we hold on to Jesse Davis? Why are we trying to go get a veteran for $15 million when we got one for $4 million right now? Because, are we going to say, well, why don't we just teach him? He just needs to learn the fundamentals. Maybe it's just been bad. So y'all want to point out the same bad coaching couldn't be bad coaching that has affected Jesse Davis's 5 or 6 or 7 year career? Now that we got the right coaches, this is the point Larry L was making. Why cut loose on him now? He's a cheap veteran. And we can coach him up, right? I mean, what is this? And for the people that want to continue to say this and that is good with our offense and good with our team in general, but want to keep talking about how Flo couldn't coach anybody up, okay, go look at Durham Smythe's stat page, and you tell me that ain't coaching up. He was drafted by Adam Gase. had a 50-something% catch percentage with virtually no targets. His second year was the tank year under Flores, virtually no targets and a 50% catch percentage. Now, 2 years in a row. Last year, he had close to 90% catch percentage. This year, he had almost 85% catch percentage. The last 2 years, the guys and yards per catch at 10 yards. And you're telling me that Coach Flores ain't responsible, or somebody under his staff ain't responsible for coaching that up? Everybody wants to praise all that's good that we have, but they don't want to give the guy praise that's responsible for doing it. Okay? The guy had a vision. He had a plan. He was structuring a sandcastle, and some asshole comes in here and says, oh, now that you got it half built, let me just finish off the facade with a bunch of garbage. That's what we're talking about here. Allen Robinson. What the hell is the difference between Allen Robinson's career and Devontae Parker's? Somebody please tell me.
Not much.
Somebody please tell me.
Not much at all.
What has Allen Robinson done with a mediocre quarterback? How many people in Chicago are saying, you know, if Allen Robinson just had a decent quarterback and you want to bring him here?
Hey, you haven't played it.
I don't even want to respond.
Huh?
You're right. Let's see what you got. Hit me. I'm open.
Hi.
That's why. Now sit down and shut up.
At some point, the players got to play, people. And if they're not playing,
Cole, are you still there?
If they're not playing,
there we go.
Then they need to be coached up. They don't need to be taught fundamentals. Or they need to get the heck out of here. And if that mentality was too abrasive for people, then I guess that's why Flores got fired. And if we don't have that mentality, then we ain't never going to win a Super Bowl again, period. I don't care what you guys want to bring in. I don't care how you want to move all this money around, rob Peter to pay Paul to make some piece of garbage quarterback look like he's something he's not. I'm sorry. I've had enough. I've tried to be fair, okay? I'm encouraged about what I'm seeing in his training right now. But gosh, man, it's enough already. The guy has proven nothing, absolutely nothing, to deserve us blowing $79 million on him. Nothing. And if you all think, well, we got to do that anyway, and if he doesn't pan out next year, we're just going to what? Get another one in the draft? We just drafted this guy 5th overall. Are we going to have any money at that point to get some free agent that doesn't exist anymore because they're playing in Dallas? Mark my words. One of the 3 quarterbacks that we have a chance to get right now will have a star on his helmet. Mark my words.
That'll be news
that's how I'm going to leave it for tonight.
Hey, that's fair. I appreciate your color as always, man.
Love what you do, man.
At the end. Hey, y'all. Never know what you're going to get on open mic, guys. That's just all there is to it. The takes at the end of this episode were phenomenal. You can argue with them or not, but it was great. Loved every minute of it. Thank you for everybody in the comments. Vaughn954, thanks for coming back. CCRR, Joey C, Brian Terry, Aquavision. Let's see who else we got. DP, we got Lucky You, we got well, man, there's a lot of y'all are the same. Just keep on talking. CCRR, John Fernandez was here. Anthony Manzano, appreciate you stopping in. Thanks to Sharif. Thanks to Matt Rogers, who came in, a Packers fan out of nowhere. Loved having him on. Appreciate everybody being here tonight. Thanks for El Capitan running in the back. HB with all the graphics. BH, whatever. Guys, we we're bringing y'all some crazy cool stuff. George Albanese, thanks for showing up late, man. I'm glad you're watching. Remember, guys, like, subscribe, share. If you're watching this after we're already done being live, remember to like it. Remember to subscribe if you haven't already. CCRR, it had to stop because I think Kohler's had a little vein aneurysm going on right here. He had to go make sure he relaxed a little bit. He's a little bit older than us, and you know, I ain't young spry or nothing like that, but he's a little bit older than us. But appreciate you, DP. And guys, as always, make sure you join us. Make sure you find me on Saturday night for another episode of Drop the Mic here on the Fins Tailgate. Later, y'all.